Millimeter, it be accurately measured.
It's measured flat, direction up and down. Flat level we at, flight over ground. Descending from that breeze, heading in degrees. Horizontal, flat, ESC. Now you know it's flat below ground. Measured flat.
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Also below this video, you can pick up a copy of my book Measured Flat, now available, along with the link for the affiliate program if you'd like to earn money from my new book Measured Flat. So check that out also in the info box below this video. Now, we are joined by Neil, Eli, Surf Daddy, Len, Refracted Curvature, and a whole bunch of people in the Earth Awakenings Discord server. So, welcome one and all.
How are you?
Doing good, Neil. How are you?
Good afternoon.
Very well indeed. Hopefully one of my moderators will stick a link to Earth Awakenings, as we're not typically in this particular server. We're normally in the flip side. So today we're in Earth Awakenings. Very, very grateful for Jeremy, the host, to have us here today. Thank you for having us. Good to be here. Nice to have you.
Is there a release date for the audio version of the book?
I already heard one. There was one by Arwen that I heard. Someone was reviewing it online.
Oh, here good. The famous groupies are here.
You say Arwen's got hold of a copy and read it book?
Yeah, have you not heard it? It's hilarious.
No, I don't.
How did you get him to do it? I thought he hated you. He wanted to crush your skull last time I heard.
He wanted to crush my skull. How pleasant.
Yeah. Remember Arwen said he wanted to crush your skull?
Not especially.
When you and him had the breakup,
is this all you got?
He threatened to crush your skull.
Just because you freaking hung McToon out to dry, you don't need to take these tactics.
Yeah, you do suck McToon off, dude. I don't know why.
I don't know about sucking him off, but you certainly contradicted him when he came in and said that the point for elevation angles had nothing to do with the surface, and you came in and completely contradicted him. That was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Did I contradict him, or do you not understand simple elevation?
Oh, there it is.
I think it's the former. I'm pretty sure it's the
angle
former.
Has nothing to do with the surface, and you said it had something to do with the surface.
That's contradictory. You can't simultaneously have nothing to do with the surface and something to do with the surface.
I would explain it to you, but you're not going to understand, and you're going to cut me off. So it's just two things that there's no point, because that's all you got. You have are red herrings and misinterpretations and
okay, explain to me. No worries, I won't cut you off. Explain to me how it simultaneously has, quote, McToon, nothing to do with the ground, end quote, and is to do with the ground, end quote, you. Go ahead.
Those aren't quotes, but I'll explain it if you don't cut me off. If you cut me off, then I will stop.
Okay, you go ahead.
Okay. The surface is not used in any way for the baseline of the elevation angle. The only part of the surface that matters is simply the point that you're measuring the elevation angle from, because that's where you're taking it from. So that's all that matters in terms of the surface. In terms of the surface being used as the baseline for the elevation angle, it's not. We use the plane perpendicular to the downward vector. I'm sorry if you don't understand that concept. It's very simple, but like what else can I do?
Well, I understand what the word elevation means. Elevation is directly tied to the surface, though.
So what part of what I said did you not understand?
When you said elevation had nothing to do with the surface. So when you said, maybe you could just interrupt me, ask me a question, maybe it's rhetorical and you can keep talking through the answer. When you said elevation angles have nothing to do with the surface, that's a verbatim quote of what you just said 25 seconds ago. Elevation is specifically and explicitly tied to the surface. That's what elevation means. Meanwhile, you're still in contradiction with Toon. Nothing to do with the surface. You tied it to the surface at a point tangential to a ball, you assumed. That ties it directly to your suggested globe surface at a point that touches the globe surface. So you are still in contradiction with Toon. If it's nothing to do with the surface, then it's never going to be a point tangential to the surface, if his quote's true. The problem is you fundamentally undermined Toon's attempted obfuscation from the fact that an elevation angle is directly tied to the surface. That's what elevation means.
Okay, so, can I respond? Are you done?
No. In conclusion, Earth is measured flat with elevation angles. Elevation is directly tied to the surface. Now, you can believe idiots, like faceless trolls, who say that it's got nothing to do with the surface, and then tie it to the surface tangential to a ball that they've assumed. But that is obviously in contradiction to somebody like Toon when he lies about elevation, that means with respect to the surface, angles, that means two straight lines meeting at a vertex, having nothing to do with the surface, then it wouldn't be called an elevation angle. That's just stupid. So in conclusion, Earth's measured flat with elevation angles.
Yeah, but do you get an elevation? Do you get an actual elevation from your elevation angle?
What I said.
An elevation angle, yeah. Yes, to speak to the cuck rather than Buck. You've got somebody taking over from you. They can sense the blood, Buck. Elevation, yeah, that's the vertical degree. The degree is in the vertical. That's what elevation means. From the horizontal, that's one of the lines for the angle. The degree in the vertical, that's why it's called an elevation angle. Absolutely, it's in the vertical. That's what the degree is.
No, it's an elevation is distance. Well, I'll let you guys go back and forth. I'll pick this up.
Can I just address this false claim? My claim and Toon's claim is, and I'll repeat this over and over.
You're done. What are you still doing talking?
Stop cucking. Stop interrupting me.
No, he can do whatever he likes. Elevation ties it to the surface, Buck.
You immediately tied it to the surface when you said it had nothing to do with the surface. We don't want to talk to you no more.
Understand.
Don't understand what? That the point that you've claimed, it touches the surface tangential to the surface of your ball, you assumed, angles below a tangential plane, directly ties elevation angles, albeit at a point that won't give you an angle, to the surface. That's what you came in and contradicted Toon with. Toon said, quote, has nothing to do with the surface. You came in, well, it's touching the ball at a tangential plane. What, tangential to the surface of your ball, you're assuming? So absolutely tying it to the surface. You're still in contradiction with Toon.
The surface of the Earth is not used in the baseline for measuring an elevation angle.
Elevation means it's tied to the surface. That's what elevation means, from the surface.
You're interrupting them.
I'll do whatever I like. This is my show. When somebody says elevation isn't to do with the surface, not tied to the surface, that's what elevation means. He's just wrong. He's telling me don't interrupt him when he's wrong. I'll do as I damn well please.
Does he think that Eratosthenes measured an elevation angle?
Refracted, if you're going to talk to me, then you're not going to allow Nathan to interrupt you. So if you want to talk...
I'll do what I like. This is my show, Buck. You seem to have made this about whether or not you're getting interrupted, you big girl. Meanwhile, you've still contradicted Toon. Toon, quote, nothing to do with the surface. Buck, touching the surface tangential to a point. Those two things are completely incongruent with one another. You just contradicted him and made him look like a massive liar. That's just a fact.
Yes, I absolutely did. And you won't let me explain it.
Yeah, I know you did. You absolutely made him look like an enormous liar, because elevation angles can only come from a flat plane. You're measuring for GP, ground positions. That's what an elevation angle's for, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, ground positions. What's that? Nothing to do with the surface? No, it's measured for ground positions. It's everything to do with the surface. These men just lie. That's all they can do. Lie.
He's lying. He's lying again, saying he won't let you. Won't let him explain. When he just had freaking at least 2 minutes explaining it.
Yeah, he had an unimpeded couple of minutes explaining how it had nothing to do with the surface again. What? So what? In line with Toon's lie? Now that's inconsistent with what you said at the time, which is it was tangential to a point. And the point is at the globe surface, you've assumed. That means you've completely contradicted Toon. It's just that simple. You got a couple of minutes to explain it. It's not like I didn't understand. You now taking a different stance that elevation doesn't have anything to... Yeah, it does. Elevation specifically ties it to the surface.
Is the surface
No,
correct?
it doesn't. It does not.
Sorry, do we need some Spurgo to save you from the blood there, Buck? It seems like you could maybe moan at the Spurgo. You wanted to tell me off while I interrupt you on my own show? Your Spurgo's having a little conniption fit.
Expert in this, right, Nathan?
So I'm just pointing out that you've got a little Spurgo having a conniption fit next to you, by the way.
You're a little bitch.
Now you've got a third man. These now 3 mental breakdowns all at once.
Is the surface used?
Why are you asking about the surface? According to Toon, it's got nothing to do with the surface, so why are you asking about the surface?
Still interrupts them.
I can do what I like, it's my show.
13 times now.
Oh, sorry, you big girl. Can you not cope with a bit of debate? Yeah, people are going to talk to you in debate, Buck. Can't you cope with that, you big girl?
Do we use the surface of the Earth as a baseline for measuring an elevation angle?
Yes, we acquire a GP. That's called a ground position. It's at the end of the line on the base. The 0 degree part of the angle has a GP at the end of it.
Freaking fool.
So you're just going to chat going through me? Hey, I'll just do my Buck impression. Oh my God, it's 13 times he's talked through me because I can't cope with debate about ground positions. Yeah, the elevation angle's going to have a ground position at the end of it.
I've asked you 11 times now.
What, about whether or not elevation angles... Shut up, Neil. Neil.
You
Elevation angle's got a ground position. Elevation angle's got a ground position at the end of it.
Elevation angle, yes or no?
It's got ground position at the end of it. I've said it about 16 times.
Absolutely not. The ground.
Oh, so we're not measuring for ground positions with elevation angles? Yeah, we are. That's their main primary use.
You fool. We don't. The GP has nothing.
So what does GP stand for again?
I'll repeat for the 14th time.
What does GP stand for? The GP, you say. What does that stand for?
An elevation angle.
What does GP stand for?
Oh.
No, it doesn't stand for no. It stands for ground position.
You are a subject matter expert.
Yes, subject matter expert when it comes to ground positions at the end of the angle we measure with respect to the ground. It's the 0 degree baseline the GP will be at the end of. You're measuring an angle for its ground position on the ground below the star.
The GP of the star is irrelevant when measuring an elevation angle.
Oh, really? Why are we measuring it exactly? Is it not to find our position on the ground?
Calculations for celestial navigation.
So navigating thin air? Is it that we're navigating Scotch mist? Are we navigating Scotch mist or are we navigating the ground this has nothing to do with?
Elevation angle and not navigate shit.
But we do. We navigate with elevation angles. That's how we use the stars to navigate.
Navigation.
Yeah, we do. We navigate with
an elevation angle with the sextant, though.
So can I hear someone else sensing the blood? So you're saying we don't do...
have an elevation angle for the sextant.
So is it just the Buck, you cuck's now taking over? This is the 4th man I've heard the voice of.
You agreed with refracted.
So, do I agree with you taking over from Buck? I'd just take this as the loss, Buck. You've lost badly. Everybody else has jumped on the bed because I can see how limp you've got.
Times, Nathan.
You've got a load of cucks that are on the bed with you, my friend. I'm hearing 4 different men at once whilst communicating with you. Yeah, we definitely do navigation with these elevation angles. That's its primary purpose.
I'm here, Elder Bear, Buck, Nathan. Hold on. We want to hear what's being said, so let's all go one at a time. Why don't you just let Buck go back and forth with Oakley, so nobody else open your mic, and then we'll be able to hear everything if you guys can just go one at a time, please.
Okay, I'll start. Nathan, do we use the surface of the Earth as a baseline when we measure an elevation angle, yes or no?
Yes, we're measuring for ground positions, absolutely without question. We will derive circles of equal altitude with these elevation angles. We will minus from 90 and times by 60 the measured angle with respect to the surface for a circle of equal elevation to navigate with. Now, we're not navigating something that's got nothing to do with the surface. We're navigating the surface with this process.
Nathan, when I measure an elevation angle to Polaris, I don't do celestial navigation. I simply measure the elevation angle. When I do that, am I using the surface of the Earth as a baseline for that elevation angle? Because in no way do my tool that I use doesn't even see the surface. So,
right, elevation. What does elevation mean? How do they taste, Buck? Salty? Do you need the question repeating? Was that short pause because you didn't have an answer?
No, it's because you didn't
All right, what does elevation mean?
answer my question.
No, I'm asking you something. I answered you. You asked me if it had anything to do with the surface. I detailed the acquisition of an angle for a ground position, minusing it from 90, timesing it by 60, so we can acquire an area of equal elevation to navigate the surface with. I answered you. Then you told me that when you measured Polaris, it had nothing to do with the surface, when you measure an elevation angle to Polaris. My response, what's elevation mean?
That is incorrect.
That's not incorrect, it's a question. You don't seem to understand that me asking you what elevation means isn't a question that has a yes or no, incorrect or correct response. It's a question. Do you know what elevation means, given that you're saying this angle has nothing to do with the surface?
I will repeat, because you lied about what I said.
Now I'm being called a liar. I don't want to talk to him anymore. I'd like him removed.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, he's a scumbag, total scumbag. He tells me he's measuring elevation angles. I point out elevation is directly tied to the surface. He says he's measuring an elevation angle to Polaris, and it's got nothing to do with the surface. I ask him to define what elevation means, and he calls me a liar.
You lied.
Here we go again. I'm being called a liar. Jeremy, I don't want to talk to this guy anymore. He's a total scumbag. When I ask him a question, what does elevation mean? Directly tied to the discussion on the table, I get called a liar. This is totally unreasonable.
No, because you lied about what
I don't want to hear it. He's saying it over and over again, Jeremy. This is scummy. Your server's scummy. You allow scumbags in your server, Jeremy.
I said that when
I don't want to hear what you've said. I heard you call me a liar 3 times. Now my bloody panel's interrupting me non-stop while I express my frustrations. I asked a question. I responded to his question. Does this elevation have anything to do with the surface? Yes. Then I detailed explicitly how it was tied to the surface. I then ask a question in response. What does elevation mean, given you're saying it's got nothing to do with the surface? I then get called a liar 3 times. Total scum. He's definitely lost. Don't want to talk to him anymore. If all he's got in response to what does elevation mean, you're a liar, non sequitur's not going to fly 3 times. Totally unreasonable.
Watch, he'll interrupt as soon as I start speaking.
Yeah, I'm going to interrupt. You keep calling me a liar. What does elevation mean?
See
what does elevation mean?
What I said was when I measure an elevation angle.
What does elevation mean? I've asked you repeatedly.
We're not going to move on to...
Are we not going to define what elevation means? I'll tell you why, ladies and gentlemen, because it directly ties this measurement to the surface that he says it's got nothing to do with. So he's going to call me a liar, he's going to obfuscate, he's going to ask new questions. He's definitely not going to concede his loss, because elevation angles specifically and explicitly ties the measurement to the surface he's now lying on behalf of Toon for. Toon's been caught out with the exact same bullshit, not to do with the surface. It's elevation. It directly ties it to the surface. What does elevation mean, Buck?
When we measure an elevation angle...
What does elevation mean, Buck?
Celestial navigation.
What does elevation mean, Buck?
Nothing to do with
what does elevation mean, Buck?
Your claim that...
What does elevation mean, Buck?
The elevation angle...
Yeah, what's it mean? What's elevation mean, Buck? Yeah, Buck, what does elevation mean?
Nathan,
what does elevation mean?
Until you acknowledge what
elevation means, you're obfuscating these words. We know what an angle means. 2 straight lines meeting at a vertex. What does elevation mean, Buck? You're getting smashed, Buck. That's what this protracted silence is. You figuring out a way you can obfuscate this indefinitely. Elevation directly ties Toon's lies about this having anything to do with the surface when you tied it to the surface with a tangential plane, completely annihilating McToon's lie. Now you, in line with Toon's lie, say that elevation, for the audience benefit, that's directly tying it to the surface that Buck's now lying about.
Notice
that's why he won't define it.
And he immediately interrupts me the second.
What does elevation mean? I've asked him repeatedly. Jeremy, I don't want to do this indefinitely with him obfuscating my question. I've answered his questions. What am I going to do, Jeremy? Do I just go to a different server because we're going around in circles with him not explaining the words he's using? Now he's interrupting me like the little bleating girl that he is. He's not answering. Elevation, what does it mean?
Jeremy, make him define elevation.
Get back to what you lied about what I...
No. We're talking about elevation angles. You've said you measure 1 to Polaris. Now I want you to define what elevation means. No, get rid of him, Jeremy. He doesn't want to play ball because he knows he's lost. He knows how embarrassing this is for a liar named McToon, who specifically says it's got nothing to do with the surface. It's an elevation angle. Next.
Nathan, when I measure
No, I'm not done. I'm
elevation
done.
angle to Polaris,
What does elevation mean? What does elevation mean? We're not going to segue into a new question you ask.
I'm back on the other question.
What does elevation mean? I've answered your questions, directly tying your elevation angle to the surface, describing what we do with it in navigation. I answered your question. Now all you've got is non-stop obfuscation.
You didn't answer my question.
You asked me whether or not elevation angles were tied to the surface. I said yes, because they've got ground positions at the end of them. Then I described the calculation minusing from 90 and timesing by 60 the acquired angle from surface level to give you an area of equal elevation. I gave a very comprehensive answer to your question. What have we now got? 16 attempts for me asking you what elevation means when you say it's got nothing to do with the surface.
I have 17 attempts.
So we're just going to talk about how many attempts we've had? Yeah, I've answered your question extensively, fully, completely, wholly. You have not answered what elevation means.
Just when we measure an elevation angle.
What does elevation mean? If we're measuring elevation angles, what does that mean?
How can you
stutter at me in the face of a repeated question using the words that you're using? It's called the Socratic method. We need to agree on terms, but do you not know what the Socratic method is?
How could it possibly run?
Jeremy, it's just chat skanking through me, Jeremy. It's miserable. Jeremy, this is miserable.
Fuck, you just chat. Honestly, man, he's asking you the same question like 10 times.
Why won't you answer the question, Buck?
Yeah, because he's lost. That's why he can't answer the question. Because the minute he says elevation directly ties to the surface, he's demonstrated what a massive liar McToon is, and he just can't bring himself to do it.
Yep.
This is why I won't answer.
Nobody asked you what you won't be doing. We asked you what elevation means.
See what? Like, I can't even speak, so...
No, you can. You can answer what elevation means. We can hear you saying that you can't speak. We're hearing the words coming out your mouth to obfuscate you defining what elevation means.
When I measure an
when you stutter, what does elevation mean?
We are not going on to that until...
Yet you said, I measure an elevation angle. You have brought up this subject. You've said you measure elevation angles to Polaris. What's the problem, Buck? Can't you cope with this definition?
The GP of this...
GP means ground position. I've already defined this in my answer to my question that you put to me.
Hello?
Yeah, you put a question to me about whether it tied to the ground. Ground positions, GPs. I answered this.
Claim that's false, and you're trying to avoid answering that.
No, you're avoiding answering what elevation means. I've asked you 20 times.
You're going to explain to me, Nathan.
Sorry, I'm asking what elevation means. You say you measure, quote, I measure an elevation angle to Polaris, end quote. Is it not reasonable that we go through the Socratic method and define what these terms mean? Hello? Hello,
Yeah,
Buck.
Get rid of him.
I'll get rid of you in a minute, Neil. You've interrupted this entire conversation.
Immediately, as soon as I speak, Nathan...
Sorry, are we going to get endless bleatings about I can't cope with debate? Yeah, we get it, you pissy pants little girl. You can't cope with talking to people. Yeah, you've been asked what elevation means. You use the word. Quote, Buck, elevation angle measurement to Polaris, end quote. That's verbatim. So you've used the word. What does it mean?
If I answer, will you go back to my question?
Your question's already been answered. Does this tie to the ground? Yeah, with ground positions.
You haven't explained how what you said...
I didn't get asked how it explained. You asked if it tied to the ground. So we're going to go back to a question that you haven't asked yet? No, I can't do that.
Okay. The elevation angle, it's the upward angle between your line of sight and the celestial object. Nothing to do with the surface.
So when we acquire ground positions, that's nothing to do with the surface.
Say that again?
When we acquire ground positions with this, you're saying the ground position has nothing to do with the surface.
Acquire a ground position. You're fixated on the idea that to do celestial navigation, we first measure elevation angles. You don't
It's
seem to understand that
navigation!
you can measure an elevation angle, end of story, and not do celestial navigation.
Yeah, it's for navigation, though. So you can do it as a dweeb for no purpose whatsoever. That really hasn't got any outcome, though. What would the point be in measuring it if you're not using it for navigation? You're using a navigation star. The whole point is to navigate the ground.
Elevation angles all the time without doing celestial.
Oh, really? What for? What was the purpose? What was the purpose?
For multiple reasons.
Multiple reasons? This purpose is for navigating the ground. The reason we measure elevation angles to stars is to acquire ground positions, so we can derive circles of equal elevations and find our fix. That's our position on the ground. That's the reason we measure them. Why do you measure it? Multiple reasons. Yeah, well, crap answer.
I gave you the reason. So
he said there was multiple reasons. That's a crap answer. We do this process and navigate Earth as a flat plane with flat areas of equal altitude, with flat angles from surface level to ground positions at the end of flat horizontal baselines. That is what we do with this angle.
Sure, an elevation angle.
So is it just me or I'm being chat skanked through, Jeremy, while I explain the conclusion to this? Is it just me or am I being talked through, Jeremy? Is it just me or has Buck decided that the Discord server's not going to hear me anymore? I'm appealing to the moderator. Is it just me or has Buck decided that I'm not going to be heard anymore? Is it just me?
I know. Hopefully I know. But guys, we got to go one at a time, please.
Yeah, Buck's getting absolutely annihilated. And his little trick where, we've got multiple reasons to use this angle acquisition to not have reference to the ground. Well, what for? Well, multiple things. No, we're using it for navigation. We navigate the ground with ground positions. We derive areas of equal altitude. Altitude also specifically tying it to the ground. For a fix on the ground, when we navigate the ground that's being measured flat has to be denied if you've got a ball belief. That's why suddenly elevation, meaning from the ground, angles have nothing to do with the ground. No, it just means that it's nothing to do with your globe ground. Absolutely nothing to do with the globe ground, and everything to do with the flat plane we're measuring these angles for ground positions to be with respect to, so we can find our position on the surface.
Okay, I let you speak. Now let me speak.
I don't need your permission. I'll do whatever I like, Buck.
First.
You don't seem to understand who's in authority here, Buck. I'll do what I like. You'll do as I tell you.
How about when you're done speaking?
How about you tell us what elevation means? You've told us it's got nothing to do with the ground. Notice how he feels like he's successfully obfuscated this definition in Socratic terminology. Now, I'm still waiting for you to tell me what elevation means, Buck.
Oh, I told you.
He went to respond.
It's the elevation angle. It's the upward angle between the horizontal line of sight and the line of sight to the celestial object. Why is that difficult for you?
We're measuring Earth flat then. Horizontal line of sight.
Mountain and take my horizontal line of sight.
Yeah, that's horizontal. So we've got a horizontal line of sight. Absolutely, without question, a flat Earth prerequisite parallel with the ground.
Has to do with the bubble level prerequisite.
Yeah, don't forget that the sextant.
Right, can I hear a few cucks on Buck's behalf? Yeah, we've got a flat Earth measurement then. Eye level.
You hear I didn't correct me, Nathan?
Doesn't require a GP. So what are you talking about?
Yeah. Eye level. Parallel with surface level. We're measuring it for GPs if we're using a bubble sextant. The only reason it's useful is because it's parallel with the surface level. The only reason for using it is to find our way on the surface.
There's not with a sextant.
But nobody's using a bubble sextant for fun. They're only using it if they want to find where they are on the surface.
No, only use it to find an angle.
Yeah, sorry, for what purpose? Sorry, people aren't randomly out finding angles for no apparent reason. I mean, Buck can say, I'm just doing it for no reason. But he's a wanker on the internet. He's not got one under his plane seat so he can find out where he is in an aeroplane. On the ground. That's what it's for.
They were mapping the sky. I thought they were mapping the angles to things on the sky.
Mariner's sextant. Sorry, what does a mariner do?
Oh, you don't.
Sorry, I'm talking to Buck. Cuck.
The middle of people's sentences also.
I'll do what I like. You don't seem to understand who's in charge here. I am, not you. You're some twat on the internet in some Discord server. You think you're in authority here? No, definitely not. What does mariner mean? What does mariner mean?
Keep pushing on.
What does mariner mean? We're using mariner's sextants. What does mariner mean?
Mariner's sextant. So, I mean, whatever.
Oh, we're going to have a little Spurg session, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're on to defining what mariners mean. What does it mean to be a mariner?
I did not use a mariner's sextant. I own one when I do cell nav.
Oh, so we do use it for sal nav then, for navigating the ground?
Built myself.
So we do use it for sal nav then, for navigating the ground, Buck?
What are you talking about?
You said, I do have one for sal nav. That's celestial navigation. So we do, third time's a charm. Use this tool for navigating the ground, you say it's got nothing to do with then?
to exercise and don't.
So I can hear a cuck. Did you sense the blood? Yeah, what I've done is I've taken Buck's words. That's Mariner Sextant, metaphorically me grabbing the back of his head, and then ramming the words sell nav. So navigation then, directly tying this tool and its use to the ground then.
Nathan,
was your name a can of worms?
They can all sense the blood. Yeah, that's just summarised for my live audience. Buck has just been absolutely annihilated in an attempt to obfuscate McToon's lie. What lie, you say? That this angle's got, quote, nothing to do with the ground. Now we're back at the point where Sodbuster has told us I've got this tool for when I do, quote, sell nav. So according to his own frickin' words, this is for navigating the ground then, Buck.
You think my theodolite measure...
So why am I being asked something? Again, for my audience's benefit, that's a man getting absolutely destroyed with his own flat earth measurements he's having to deny on behalf of a liar named McToon. Now, the fact that McToon's lied about this cell nav tool, yeah, that would be a tool for measuring the ground, though, wouldn't it? For navigating the ground that you're denying, Buck. Cat got your tongue? Stutter response? Moan? Obfuscate?
No, you're talking over me. I have no idea what you...
Oh, maybe moan about the format. No, you're getting annihilated, mate. We can hear you moaning about how you're getting talked about because you're a pissy pants little girl who can't cope with a bit of debate. Yeah, people talk through you when you say things that are incorrect. Like this tool for doing cell nav? What, like navigating the ground, you say it's got nothing to do with? Hello, Sodbuster Dumbo! You said it's got nothing to do with the ground. So, sal nav, that's what, nothing to do with the ground. Wrong, liar. These men lie. When they say that a flat earth measurement of surface level has nothing to do with the ground, when specifically they're using the tool for, quote, sal nav, what, navigating the frickin' ground you're lying about?
Can you explain to me
why am I being asked a question? You've caught yourself out. You've said sal nav. Directly tying this tool and its measurement to the ground.
Have a debate when, like, the second...
It's not a debate. You're measuring the ground. You just had to lie. You said it had nothing to do with the ground, and then you caught yourself out saying you got the tool for doing sal nav. That's navigation. We're not navigating thin air. We're not navigating Scotch mist. We're navigating the ground you're lying about it having nothing to do with. Hello? It's a tool for navigating the ground. You're saying it's got nothing to do with, you liar.
A theodolite is not a tool for navigating the ground.
Sorry, we're talking about a theodolite now. We're talking about a Mariner Sextant.
No, we were talking actually about the quadrant that I built.
No, nobody said the word quadrant. What we did was have the word cell nav used, and then I rammed it back up you, proving beyond all doubt that you men are liars. Toon's a liar. Quote, nothing to do with the ground. What, when we use it for, quote, cell nav? Yeah, you've caught McToon out and his lie. You've made it worse, Buck.
You're destroying me. You're annihilating me, Nick.
That's absolutely correct. When you say this tool has nothing to do with measuring with respect to the ground, and then you say you've got this tool for when you do sal nav, yeah, you're getting your pants yanked down.
Gakushi, this is your man.
Like, appeal to Gashuki or whatever you do isn't going to change that you've lied. You said it had got nothing to do with the ground, and then you said it had something to do with sal nav? Yeah, that's the ground, you dumbo.
Well, he's admitted that he's getting annihilated, so at least he's telling the truth there.
What about him having to lie on behalf of Toon? Quote, nothing to do with the ground. This tool I've got for when I do sal nav. Oh, right, so navigating the ground then?
Save me. Save me, Neil.
No, when he said you're wrecking me, Nathan, he's telling the truth.
Save me, Neil. Save me. Neil, save me.
So he's done. Can we move him from this discussion now, please? I'm done with him.
What, you just lie about what I say?
No, how dare you accuse me of lying?
He triggers you and you'll tell me to shut up. I've been waiting to talk for like 30 minutes, bro.
Good.
Thank you. I mean, all of this wasted, I wouldn't call it wasted airtime because you are showing yourselves to be invincibly ignorant, we call it. I mean, most people are good with a simple Google search. Now, sure, you should check your sources, and sure, you should validate your own claims, but a simple Google search, sometimes that's reasonable. So you just Google it. Is elevation tied to the surface? And what pops up? Yes, elevation is
Your
directly
mic
tied
is
to the
really
Earth's
hard to
surface.
hear.
So, Jeremy, can we remove Bucksodbuster? He's just deciding that the devastating bits of the discussion and the conclusion that demonstrates him to be an abject liar need to be chat skanked through. Can we just not have him taking part? I can't control this. It's not my server,
Did
right?
I hear someone suggest that we should just Google simple concepts?
What, like when we go through the Socratic method, when I say, what does elevation mean, and you refuse to define it about 20 times, suddenly when someone else defines it, it'd be best if you talk through it. Now, that's totally unreasonable. That's because you're being demonstrated a liar, Buck. Yeah? What Eli's doing is demonstrating how big a liar you are.
Can you be quiet so
Did he
whoever
just
else was
stop my
talking
train by saying that my mic is crap, but he quoted me though?
Yep.
Yes.
No, it's very unclear.
Total lie. This is another obfuscation tactic by Buck. While we're having the definition of what elevation is read out by Eli, we're hearing Buck skank through the top of him. Now we're on whether or not he's clear enough while he's quoting him back. Another lie. That's what you've got to do if you've got a globe belief. Lie non-stop. No, this tool's got nothing to do with the ground. When I bought it to do SalNav, tying it to the ground? He hasn't defined elevation. Now Eli's gone and done it. We're going to hear
elevation. I absolutely did define elevation.
No, you defined what you said elevation angle was with respect to an eye level. You didn't define what elevation was. That was what was asked of you.
We're talking about elevation.
Sorry, he didn't acknowledge what I said, did he? He did not define elevation. 20 times. You heard me. You're the audience. You heard me. What does elevation mean? Specifically. No, he did not define that. Liar. Again, another demonstration that all they can do non-stop is lie. That's all they've got in them. Lie, 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 lie. Oh, this flat measurement of a flat ground with a 0-degree baseline with a GP at the end of it for navigating in SalNav has nothing to do with the ground. That's what his argument. Now he's chat skanking through me summarising his egregious lies. That's all he can do. Chat skank through the conclusion.
Mr. Oakley?
You chat skanking through the conclusion won't work, Buck. Asking me and calling me Mr. Oakley through the top of the conclusion that demonstrates what a massive liar you are.
Are you calling him a liar because you can do that thing where you do whatever you want?
No, because we were in the middle of having a definition read out what elevation means by Eli, and then Buck decided that it was too painful to listen to. So he decided, even though he'd been asked 20 times to do it himself, that he wasn't going to tolerate it coming from Eli. That's why.
Eli, I read out the definition of an elevation angle. Not only did I read it out, it comports with exactly how I measure an elevation angle. My line of sight.
Where was your definition from? Post it in chat, please.
You want me to put the elevation angle in chat?
What, like I just specifically said verbatim, repeated back to me to buy yourself a bit of time? Yes, you said you cited what an elevation angle is. I'd like to know where the citation came from and have it posted in chat. Second time I've said it.
1 second.
Where did it come from?
And you asked him the definition for elevation anyway. He still hasn't given it.
That's correct.
It's in chat. It's in chat. You asked for it. It's in chat.
Right. Where did it come from?
Oh, you want me to go? Here, let me.
Tell me where it came from. Simple.
What the hell?
Sorry, say that again.
Where did it come from? Third time.
Oh, I have it saved. I can go find these.
I didn't ask what you'd got it stored on. I didn't ask the size of the freaking hard drive. Where did it come from? Do you need to buy yourself a bit more time?
I don't have the URL. I can go.
Oh, so this is some uncited shite. You don't know where it came from, so you might as well have just made it up then.
Disagreeing with that definition? You actually think that's not the definition of elevation angle?
Well, I want to know where it came from.
No, answer. Is that an incorrect definition?
Well, in a moment, Buck, what I'll be doing is going through 20 citations of what an elevation angle is. I'll be going through my own citations when we establish where yours has come from. Then we'll agree or disagree based on the Socratic method of what definitions of words mean. Based on a few definitions. We'll go through a few. Do you stutter? Yeah, because you know what's coming, you lying piece of crap. You know exactly what's going to happen. Meanwhile, have we found out where this came from yet, or what?
Hey, Nathan, my definition says horizontal.
Oh, sorry, we're going to hear what someone else's definition says now. No, I'm pretty sure I've got 20 definitions of what an elevation angle is in front of me. Eventually we'll get to them, and we'll demonstrate what a massive liar Buck Sodbuster is when he says, quote, nothing to do with the ground, in an attempt to back up McToon's lies. Yeah, we'll go through a few definitions. We'll go through the Socratic method. We haven't asked a third party to step in on Buck's behalf. Where did the citation come from, Buck?
Merriam-Webster, definition of angle of elevation.
Behind your back,
it's posted in chat. Now, tell me what's wrong with that definition. If you don't believe it, tell me why it's wrong.
I'll have a look at it. Somebody post it to me in Master B and I'll have a quick look at it.
Still hasn't defined elevation itself.
Elevation, according to Google, right here, means height above sea level. A flat line of a building side, or
elevation angle, you fool.
Elevation is irrelevant to an elevation angle.
So what's now happening is we don't like the word elevation. So apparently that's not allowed to be defined. So Buck's going to now do the same thing to Fisherman in a Box as he did to Eli. I mean, this is obviously going to be tolerated by the server host. Now we've got audio chaos, complete audio chaos, because someone else has tried to step in and go, you were asked to define elevation, you haven't. Eli's tried, now Fisherman in a Box has tried, and now we've got liars obfuscating the truth with verbal chaos.
Horizontal line from the observer's eye.
So
for the
if you're
guy
on
that
a
just
mountain,
Googled
it's
that,
from the observer's eye. If you're in a plane, it's from the observer's eye. Nothing to do with the surface. Got it, Nathan?
You're measuring this for navigating the surface. That's its purpose.
I gave you the source, and you're still going on.
Okay.
You're still yammering.
So if it's got nothing to do with the surface, if I read out a few other citations, they won't ever reference the surface then, correct?
So more accurate.
Oh, no. I'm talking to Buck. Hello, Cuck. I'm talking to Buck.
Would be the height.
Hold on. Hold on.
Would be the height above geoid.
Jesus Christ.
Height above.
So Buck suggests that it has, quote, nothing to do with the surface. So if I read out a few citations, there is absolutely no way they will reference the surface then, Buck, correct?
Without adding extra relevant
I said the baseline.
Sorry, can I hear a few cucks now spurging through the third time I've asked this question? According to Buck, elevation angles have nothing to do with the surface. That's his claim. My question to him, therefore, no other citation will ever reference the surface.
Have at it.
Okay. Altitude angle, sometimes referred to as solar elevation angle, describes how high the sun appears in the sky. The angle is measured between an imaginary line between the observer and the sun and the horizontal plane. The observer, is it just me or is he spurging through the top of me? Jeremy, I'll need to talk to the moderator. Jeremy.
Nathan.
Jeremy.
You know the guy updated that definition because of you.
Jeremy, I haven't got to the end of this definition. It's being spurred through. Jeremy, I listened to him defining it. I've asked him to post it.
Again.
He's just spurging through me. Jeremy, what can I do?
No, seriously, Jeremy, you can't come in whenever, we start cursing and stuff. You literally hear him interrupting the end of everyone's attempt to define elevation.
Yeah, and why don't you?
I was going to jump in to spank him around again because he's using the word height like a bubble sextant is supposed to help you guys. Well, look what I looked up. What is the height referencing? Because I was already asking about elevation angles. So in elevation measurements, the height is referencing the vertical distance from a chosen base starting line called the datum up to the object or ground point. Height is never, listen to this, height is never a standalone number. It is always measured relative to a specific surface. So the part that you've been obfuscating is when we're taking elevation angles, it's with reference to the surface that we're concerned about. The surface of the Earth.
Cite that. Cite it.
Okay, the altitude angle, sometimes referred to as the solar elevation angle. This is the same citation I tried to read out about 2 minutes ago, but Buck decided was too painful. Yeah, the words that he obfuscated were the horizontal plane the observer is standing on. That's one. Another one, elevation angle is the angle between the horizontal plane and the line of sight measured in the vertical plane. That's from Radar Tutorial. It's explicitly tied to the surface. What about another one? The elevation angle is the angle between the horizontal line and the line of sight which is above the horizontal line. It is formed when the observer looked upwards. And then it gives an example. Suppose you are standing at a terrace of a building looking upwards at the sky or moon. The angle is thus formed between the ground level and the line of sight is called the angle of elevation. That's from Formulas, Definitions and Examples, elevation angle. Here's another one. The elevation angle is the angle of elevation between the horizontal line and the line of sight. If the line of sight is upwards from the horizontal line, then the angle formed is an angle of elevation. Here's another one. The angle of elevation, sometimes referred to as...
Stop.
That one didn't use the surface.
Stop!
Nathan.
Yeah.
How dare you? Absolutely not. While I rip you a new asshole based on your lies that quote this has nothing to do with the ground. No, it's everything to do with the ground. It's a flat earth measurement of the ground. Specifically, that's why it's got the word elevation in it. And when you hear how absolutely annihilated you get, what you can do after you've attempted to obfuscate about half a dozen times, talk through 3 different people trying to define it, is say stop, stop, stop through the top of me. No.
Yeah, read the last one. How does the last one support your theory? Go ahead, read the last one again. Show us where it talks about the ground.
So the elevation angle between the horizontal plane and the line of sight measured in the vertical plane. Oh, it's specifically and explicitly got the words horizontal plane in the definition. I mean, I'm only up to about number 7 of 20, by the way. Sorry, I'm just up to about 7 of 20. Sorry, my friend, again, you're just taking Buck's tack that you'll talk through the middle of me defining this with explicit definitions that include the ground in them. Yeah, just spurging through the top of me won't change that these definitions include the ground. They do.
Where? Where in that one is the ground?
The horizontal plane the observer is standing on.
No, it doesn't.
The horizontal plane measured for the line of sight. My God, you asked me, and now you're spurging through the top of the answer.
Nope, read it again. Where's the ground?
The angle of elevation is the angle between... Sorry, again, middle of the sentence, I'm not getting to the end of it. You've asked me to define it and say, where's the ground? The horizontal plane, that's where.
You're asserting. You're reading these definitions to show us to prove it. That definition you just read has nothing to do with the ground.
Oh, okay. What about this one? The solar altitude, measured angle between the central ray from the sun, that's beam radiation in brackets, and a horizontal plane contacting the observer. Not good enough?
Horizontal plane you can have on a...
No, not just horizontal plane. You don't need to misquote. Horizontal plane contacting the observer.
Nathan, can you get an elevation? Nathan, can you get an...
So why am I being spurred that with new questions? The debate on the table is, does an elevation angle have anything to do with the ground? Yeah, it's the horizontal plane the observer is standing on, end quote. It's the horizontal plane contacting the observer, end quote. That's what it is.
Oh.
No? Oh, right, what a fantastic rebuttal. Yeah, it is. It just makes Buck and McToon liars. That's all it does.
Nathan, can you get an elevation angle while standing on the side of a hill?
Yeah, of course you can.
Is that a horizontal plane?
Yeah, that's what an elevation angle is! You stupid man! Did the 15 definitions that I just read out not make it clear? Yeah, it's the horizontal plane contacting the observer. Absolutely unequivocally without question. Why? Well, because it includes the word frickin' elevation.
I'm asking if the hill is a horizontal plane.
Oh, so when you say, can I acquire an elevation angle from a hill, now you're saying, is the hill the elevation? That's stupid. That's an ignorant man asking an ignorant question after his compadre and presumable guru, McToon, are demonstrated liars. No, the plane of reference is an altitude angle acquisition that you're using for ground positions. The fact that you're up a hill has absolutely sod all to do with anything.
I agree with you. The surface that you're standing on has nothing to do with the elevation angle.
Incorrect. So the solar elevation, that's measured between the central ray from the sun, beam radiation, and the, quote, horizontal plane Contacting the observer. That's from eeducation.psu. Response from dickhead in a Discord server. Nothing to do with the ground. Really? Quote, the horizontal plane the observer is standing on. Yeah, that's why it's got the word elevation in it, because it directly ties to the ground that you dickheads want to lie about.
Elevation is your height above the geoid.
No, it's not. On screen now is the altitude angle, reference with the word altitude and a picture of an angle. This is not from a geoid. If it was, you couldn't have a straight line. There's no geoid line in an angle. You're just an idiot.
Elevation is different than altitude. And
so what does elevation mean?
No, it's not.
What does what mean?
Elevation. You said elevation is different to altitude. Well, let's define both words. What does elevation mean?
Elevation is your height above the geoid.
No, it's not. There's never ever been an altitude measurement from the geoid. Every single altitude measurement ever was from sea level. Altitude does not mean from geoid level. You're never going to get Everest's height from geoid level because there is no such beast as geoid level. There's only sea level. Altitudes are from sea level, not from geoid level. You're either ignorant or a liar.
No, I said elevations are based off of the geoid.
No, they're not. You're never going to give the height of Everest, second time, from geoid level. There's no such thing as geoid level, number one. Number two, every single elevation ever measured ever is and will always be from sea level. Never, ever, ever from geoid level. You are wrong.
I mean, do you want an example of it right now?
Yeah, give me Everest's height from. Give me the quoted height. Now. Yes, yes, I do. I want an example from geoid level. I want the Everest height cited as being from geoid level. Go.
No, not the Everest height. I'm just.
Oh, so not a height of something then? When I say give me a height measured from geoid level, well, no, I'm not going to give you a height measurement. That's because you can't. There are no heights measured from geoid level. You're just wrong.
I'll post it in the side chat right now.
What, an Everest height from geoid level?
Nathan, I have a good one if you allow me to read it out.
Posted it.
What, the definition of what altitude or elevation means? Is that that's what you've been asked for? What's the definition of altitude? You said it's from geoid level. I said wrong, and then gave you an example that contradicted it. That was an altitude measurement for Everest from sea level. That's what you've been asked for. Define what elevation means.
In
Hello?
the meantime, Google search, are there any horizontal planes on a sphere? Answer, no. A sphere has no flat or plane surfaces on its outer boundary. Its surface is completely curved. There are no horizontal planes on a sphere.
Meanwhile, on screen, depicted for my audience, an altitude angle with the word altitude and an angle from a surface level. Yeah, this is what an altitude angle looks like. It requires a planar surface for the baseline. It's 0 degrees. That's what the 0 is. And if it's specific, that's to say it's not just an angle measurement. It's an elevation angle. Then it specifically and explicitly ties that angle to the surface. For when we do things like, quote, salnav, for surface navigation, directly tying it to the surface that these globe-believing scumbags need to incessantly lie about.
Yeah, because it doesn't comport with a globe.
Not lying.
So you're saying elevation doesn't have anything to do with surface level?
What they're talking about in that definition if it's not the surface?
That every single one of the cited sources that I define an elevation angle with explicitly directly ties it to the surface level, a horizontal plane. That's what it's measuring with respect to. If we're measuring it for navigation purposes, we're measuring for ground positions, so we can find our fix on the ground.
Is that how you determine who wins the debate? Like if you Google it and you get the answer you want?
No, on the contrary. I win the debate by talking about azimuth. That's a horizontal measurement from north that can only be flat. Distance, that's horizontal measurement that we survey Earth with. Linear, horizontal as per every map scale ever measured ever. Elevation, meaning from surface. Angles, that means 2 straight lines. For areas of equal altitude, that means same altitude at all points. That's a flat circle that we derive our positional information with in this particular debate that's on the table about celestial navigation that apparently has nothing to do with the ground. I win by laying out all the flat Earth measurements. Every single Earth measurement ever made was reliant upon, and that's having a flat plane to measure. That's how I win.
So if you want to use surveying definitions, then you can Google surveying definition of elevation, and it'll tell you that the surveying definition for elevation is your height above the geoid. That's just a fact.
Okay.
Definitions
Show me
again.
that. Show me that definition.
Here
Where did
we
that
go.
definition? Where did that definition come from? What? Who's defining it that way? Let's have a look.
Surveyors.
Sorry, do you want to give me a cited source? That is to say, post your source, tell me who said it, what it says, I'll have a look at it. And when I find the flat Earth measurement they're actually making, I'll ram it back up you in an instant. That's what I'll be doing when you cite it. I'm surveyors. I heard you the first time. All right, surveyors. Yeah. Which ones? Where was it published? Where did you get this citation from?
As you want. I'm just not into that, Nathan.
Oh, you're not into citing your shite that you spew? Yeah, I will. Yeah, when I cite radar tutorial for the elevation angle being directly tied to the horizontal plane the observer is standing on, then that's me citing radar tutorial, a very official source that describes how flat Earth is measured when I win. When you say, oh, well, surveyors, some etheric surveyor you're not citing, says we measure from geoid level, I have already overcome this. No height in the entire history of elevation measurements ever came from geoid level. Because, for the third time, there is no such beast as geoid level. There is sea level, though. That's what altitude measurements are measured from. But no, you're not going to cite it. You're not going to tell me what they've measured, so I can have a look at it.
I am going to cite it.
All right, where did it come from?
It came from a surveying manual.
What's the manual called?
Hang on.
He doesn't know. He's just making this shit up. This is first rule of Glurf. Lie. Make it up. I'll look it out later. I'll Google it now. You've already claimed it. If it's from a surveying manual, you'd know what it was called. Like when I read out my citation from Radar Tutorial, I knew exactly where it came from. That's because I was reading it out as a citation. You are just making this crap up.
No, I'm not making this crap up.
So what's it called? What's the manual called that you've cited this from? And given that we've had you say what it says, it will match what you said verbatim, won't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much? That sounds like a weasel liar's declaration that it won't match. That he doesn't have a citation in front of him. It's come from a book he's made up that he's now Googling frantically to find. Yeah, these are the words of a weaselly liar. That's what we have to deal with. In the face of 20 cited sources that say Earth's measured flat for an elevation angle. No, it's got nothing to do with the ground. Yeah, absolutely does. And when we measure the height of anything, it's never going to ever reference a geoid for an altitude. Ever.
In live stream text, or where do you want it?
Stick it in live stream text and someone will send it to me in Skype.
Okay,
Just while we're waiting for that, Nathan.
Who's it from?
Why do these clowns always go to definitions? We're explaining how these things are demonstrated in physical reality, using theodolite solar stations, compasses. Yeah? Forget your definitions.
Hold on.
We can just finish rattling off 13 definitions of elevation angle, and you say that? Come on.
Like what, when I cite how it specifically makes you wrong... Yeah, I will. I'll go to cited sources that specifically make you wrong. When you read out a cited source after failing to define what elevation is 20 times, when you read one out, I'll read out 20 that contradict you. Yes.
Off one deck.
So what have we got then? Has it been posted in live stream so we can have a look at it in Skype? Can someone pass this on to me? Let's have a little look. Can someone grab whatever he's grabbed and stuck it in live stream chat after his quick Google search? We'll have a look at it.
Oh, the name of the book.
While you're
The
doing
name
that,
of the
can I
book
ask you a legit question? I'm curious. For a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes ago, someone said Nathan was reading out his 7th definition, and someone commented about saying it didn't mention the ground; it just mentioned the horizontal plane. And I was curious as to if that wasn't in reference to the ground, what was that in reference to, the horizontal plane that they're referring to?
The plane perpendicular to the downward vector. Simple.
So downward vector would require a perpendicular axiomatic horizontal plane also. Downward is with respect to a plane also.
So two straight lines meeting at 90.
That's correct, yeah. When they say downward vector, yes, they also require axiomatically we have a plane of reference to describe a downward vector with. Yes. Although trying to obfuscate the fact that this requires a plane also, their definition is axiomatically tied 90 degrees at the hip to the horizontal plane. You can be perpendicular too. That's correct.
So Nathan, I'm not sure if you can hear me. The name of the book is called Fundamentals of Surveying Exam Study Manual.
Let's have a look. Can someone post it in Skype and we'll have a look at it?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's your citation? Say quote and then read out the line that you're citing from.
Quote, orthometric elevation / height, distance from geoid surface to actual Earth surface.
So geoid and actual Earth surface then? So not from the geoid, but from the actual Earth surface?
No, to the actual Earth surface.
So not to the geoid
distance
then?
From geoid. Distance from geoid surface to actual Earth surface.
So not from the geoid to the actual Earth surface then? So it's specifically detailing how they're separate things. Geoid and actual Earth surface. So they're separate things. My God, I'm responding to him. It's like when it's devastating, they just need to chat skank through. So we've got a distinction in your own citation immediately that separates actual Earth surface from the geoid then.
Distinction between Earth's surface and the geoid surface.
So they're two different things then? Yeah, no shit, Sherlock frickin' Holmes. They're two different things. Hello? So they're two different things then? One being a mathematical construct called a geoid, and the other being, quote, the actual Earth's surface, separate to and defined separately from the geoid then, third time. Hello?
Holy shit, Nathan Oakley was just making a distinction between a mathematical construct and the actual surface of the Earth.
Yeah, the geoid is a mathematical construct and is not the actual Earth's surface. That's correct. Whereas apparently we're measuring from it. Wrong. We can't measure from a mathematical construct. We can construct a mathematical construct from actual Earth measurements from the actual Earth surface, which in his own bleeding opening citation, may I point out to the audience, these were not the words he used. This is not verbatim, pretty much verbatim. By verbatim, you mean absolutely nothing like the words that came out of your mouth earlier, you complete liar. So this has absolutely no remnants of similarity to the words you used about 5 minutes ago. This is not verbatim, not even a little bit.
Nathan.
You complete liar. Nathan. Don't say my name while I humiliate you for your lies. You'd have to skank me with my own bleeding name through the top of me. You said it will pretty much be a verbatim quote. It is absolutely nothing like the words that came out your mouth 5 minutes ago. You complete scumbag liar.
What did I say?
Not that! Not the words you just cited, you complete liar. When I asked you, will it be verbatim? Yeah, pretty much. By pretty much, you mean absolutely nothing like the words that came out your mouth. You complete scumbag.
It's really close, Nathan.
No, it's nothing like the words that came out your mouth. Absolutely not. You're just a liar.
Nathan, what did I say it was? What did I say it originally?
Yeah, that wasn't the words that came out your mouth previously.
What did I say?
Sorry, what are you going to stutter about demanding that I give you your verbatim quote that doesn't match the words that you've just cited? They didn't match. They weren't pretty much the same. You definitely didn't define them as two separate things. Absolutely nothing like what you said earlier.
Did I say that elevation was your height above the geoid?
It isn't. The geoid being a mathematical construct that's being explicitly separated from the actual Earth's surface in your citation. That definitely weren't the words that came out of your mouth. That weren't pretty much verbatim. It was nothing like what you said earlier. You said they measured from geoid level earlier. Now, in your very opening citation, you're separating actual Earth's surface from the geoid in the very citation that you lifted. I mean, may I point out that that's garbage? That doesn't confirm that you're measuring, quote you, from geoid level. That's what you said. Now, no, that's definitely not what your citation says. Meanwhile, we measure Earth flat from surface level, from sea level, with altitude angles, altitude or elevation directly being tied to the surface we're navigating. Unless you want to lie like Buck or McToon and say it's got nothing to do with the surface until you catch yourself out by saying, well, I've got this tool for cell nav. What, navigating Scotch mist? Navigating the air? No, navigating the frickin' surface they're all lying about. It's just when we've got a flat Earth measurement of elevation angles, suddenly they're nothing to do with the surface, because they're flat by prerequisite. They're measuring with respect to a horizontal plane the observer is standing on.
So, your elevation, what I said earlier, is your height above the geoid.
That's not what your citation says! How many frickin' times do you want to lie? Yeah, do you want to quote where it says altitudes from geoid level? You haven't done that, you complete liar.
So I'll quote the book now. I'll quote the book, because what I said is that your elevation is your distance from the geoid. Now let me quote the book for you, because you to not wanting to do this.
So the book will say, quote, altitude is height from geoid level, end quote. That's what you said. We've got it again. So the book will match that verbatim then. Let's hear if it matches.
The book doesn't use the word altitude.
Oh, so it doesn't match your lies then? It's not pretty much the same. It's just you're a complete liar. Yeah, we already know how infuriating it is when you lie to us, because you've got a globe belief to defend that requires you lie.
Hey, just let him finish.
Hey, Nathan, stop being a coward.
I'll do what I damn well please while I humiliate you bunch of liars. You can plead with me to stop doing it. Stop talking through us while you point out how the words you cited weren't a citation then. You just made them up. There were words that weren't included in the quotes. Yeah, therefore you're a liar unequivocally.
It's fine. If he needs to crash out in front of her.
I'm not crashing out. I'm pointing out with no uncertain terms being left in the eye of the audience. Absolutely, without question, this man is a liar. He said he'd got it. He said it was a citation. Now he's just admitted it doesn't match. It didn't include the word elevation. Therefore, it wasn't a citation. Therefore, you are a liar.
We're going to have to go back there.
Anything to actually engage with the information in front of you. This is really pathetic and performative.
What, you talking to the guy who lied about having a citation that he made up? Is that what you're talking to? The guy who lied and said he got a citation and then just made up some words that weren't quoted in his book?
Let's look at the citation.
We'll look about it afterwards. So now we're having a look at the citation. It doesn't match the words I was expected to just accept earlier. Yeah, that's called a lie. So earlier, had I not said, go and get me the citation, let's have a look at it, we would just be accepting his bullshit words that don't match the citation. Yeah, you're all liars. Now, you can all tell me that I can't cope. No, I'm infuriated by globe-believing liars who make citations up.
As a coward. Everyone slow down.
Now I'm being called a coward. I catch someone out lying through their back teeth, making shit up that we apparently have to just accept until I ask them to go and get an actual citation. And when it doesn't match, suddenly I'm a coward. No, I'm enraged by a liar.
So
it's okay. He's actually, when he says height above geoid, what part of the geoid?
Sorry, it didn't say that in his citation. My God, how many bunch of cucks. Are you not listening to your own deceitful ways? You're now expecting me to accept his former words that don't match his citation. So what, should I just ignore the fact that they don't frickin' match? No, I'm going to get red-faced, angry, and call you liars, because that's what you are. Meanwhile, Earth is measured flat, explicitly with elevation angles, because they are, with respect to the horizontal plane the observer is standing on. That means to measure them, that's elevation angles. Elevation, by definition, directly tying the measurement to the surface. That's what it is. A measurement of the surface. For navigating the surface. So when he says, no, it's about geoid level, and then when we're supposed to take it as read and get a citation, it don't match, I will call him a liar for it.
Nathan, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to step one. Hang on, we're gonna go back to step one. Ready?
Step one: make up shit that isn't in the citation. Step two: get citation and get called a liar because it doesn't match the words that came out of your lying mouth.
You tell me when you hear.
I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm calling you a liar because that's what you are. All you glurfs ever do is lie. Non-stop barrage of lies. You lie about elevation having anything to do with the surface. You lie about heights being from geoid level. You're just liars, all of you.
So Nathan, ready? We're gonna try this. Ready? You tell me when you hear the.
I won't be doing anything. You can make your demands that I tell you something. I'll just stand here and call you a liar. That's all I'll be doing. I won't be taking your demands on board.
So you tell me when you hear.
No! I won't be doing anything that you ask of me. You're a liar. All I will do if I interact with you is point out what a massive liar you are.
So.
Did anyone else hear the word altitude in that definition?
No, it weren't in there. Yeah, that wasn't in there. It was in his original words that we were expected to take as being a citation when he lied about it and said it came from a book that he then went and got and didn't match his words. Do you not understand what lies are? That's making shit up and being called out for it.
Yeah, so I never...
Yeah! So you think I'm going to listen to your demands when you ask me to go and get things? Absolutely not. I'll just sit here until someone else takes over, one of your cucks that sense in the blood, as I call you and Buck and McToon liars. And I will demonstrate what your lies are.
This is
Shut up. Can you hear him stuttering? Like scumbags that have been caught in a lie, because I definitely hear him stuttering.
Okay, this guy's stuck on a repeat. He's just saying the same thing. Nathan, you got anything else for the show, or are you gonna fuck off?
Sorry, you asking me to go away? I'm the one running a show. I'm the one with an audience, you dumbo. You ask me whether I'm going to leave my audience. You'll know when I round out my show because I'll talk to my audience and thank the participants. In this case, a bunch of scummy liars. They're asking me whether I've got anything else. What, other than the flat Earth measurements from surface level? Other than the horizontal plane the observer is standing on? Other than altitude angles from sea level? Other than elevations with respect to surface level? Other than azimuth and distance? Yeah, all I've got is flat Earth measurement, and all you guys have got is lies.
Show's over, Nathan.
Oh, really? Show's over what? Because I've caught a liar out? No, I'll decide when my show's over. You'll know because I'll communicate that fact to my audience. Not you. You have no charge in this, you stupid dumbo.
Yeah, fuck you and your whole audience.
Oh, really? What an excellent rebuttal. Meanwhile, while being told, your show's over, fuck off. No, I won't be going anywhere. I'll be telling you how flat Earth gets measured. What I'll get in the face of that is lied to by scumbags like McToon, whose only option in the face of flat Earth measurements he's making from surface level, he's taking with azimuth, is to lie about their connection to the ground, then get contradicted by Buck, who says it's got something to do with the ground, tangential points, touching the ground. Yeah, completely contradicting McToon's lie. Then, step 3, double back, double down, and go along with the lie about a tool that doesn't have anything to do with the ground when you measure an obscure angle that's got absolutely no relation to the ground for no practical reason whatsoever, unless you're doing, quote, salnav. What, navigating the frickin' ground you're all lying about? Then what's step 4? Bring up a complete red herring about measurements from geoid level. No height was ever measured from geoid level. You'll never see any altitude ever referencing geoid level. That's another lie. No, it's not a lie. I then cite that it's from geoid level. It's in these manuals. Okay, go and get them. Oh, it doesn't match, but that doesn't mean I'm a liar. You need to fuck off. That's what's happened.
What? I got a silly question. What's terrestrial navigation for?
Navigating.
Shut up, Neil.
The surface.
Neil,
Thank you.
Oh, so now Neil's being told. As Neil puts the boot in, we hear Buck Cuckbuster coming along and telling him to shut up. Why? Because it demonstrates what a massive liar you are, Buck. Can't cope with Neil pointing it out too.
You're spurging.
Nathan.
You're repeating yourself.
So while 3 men tell me that I'm repeating myself, yeah, I will. I've been doing this for 12 years. Earth is measured flat by everybody. On screen now, for my audience's benefit, an elevation angle from the surface with respect to the sun in this instance. The 90-degree box below the sun is the ground position. This process is done for measuring your position on the ground. What's that, McToon? Nothing to do with the ground. No, you're just liars, and you need to back your guru in his lie. Meanwhile, every demonstration ever on this show will show you exactly how elevation angles are directly tied to the surface. The clue is in the title. It's an elevation angle.
Look at this clown. He's still repeating himself.
I'll repeat myself till the cows come home. When I've got diagrammatical examples that contradict you bunch of liars, I'll repeat myself while you chat skank. He's repeating himself. Well, are you acknowledging these facts? No, you're having to lie about them.
Who else? Steve A. You're twice this guy's age, but you always put yourself below him.
No, this has got absolutely nothing to do. That was a complete non sequitur red herring fallacy. While I'm demonstrating an altitude angle on screen for my audience is, with respect to the surface, is measured for GPs, is used in CellNav, end quote, Buck Sodbuster lying shit, who has to lie about it having nothing to do with the ground, when that's the whole purpose of having a mariner sextant for doing, quote, CellNav, end quote, Buck, lying piece of crap. Well, am I just repeating myself? No, I'm demonstrably proving you're all liars.
Just turn him down.
Oh, just turn him down! Oh, I love that I caught that. Just turn him down. Maybe just mute him. Just mute him, and then we don't have to listen to the painful fact that we're all lying about geoid level. Sorry, altitude from geoid level for Everest? Absolutely not. Just lies from liars. But what, are you going to turn me down? Will that stop me repeating how factually flat Earth's being measured? Just pop me on mute, lads, you bunch of girls.
He has us muted. He's just talking to his YouTube stream. That's basically what's going on.
Right, we can hear you bleating about how you need me turning down. You know, that's me just communicating my YouTube stream. No, it's me demonstrating what globers have to do in the face of flat Earth measurements. You've got to lie.
Every comment requires a 2-minute tirade. Is that what it is?
No, every comment that you lie about when you say we're measuring altitudes from geoid level requires you go and get a citation that demonstrates what a massive liar you are, and then we have a load of obfuscation while I'm told to fuck off and that the show's over. No, the show's not over. I'm still demonstrating what a massive bunch of liars
really
you all are.
Of his audience, where he thinks he has to narrate all of the thoughts and opinions out, and here, this is exactly
complete non sequitur. Telling me what I'm narrating. No, I'm narrating the facts in the matter. Fact: we measure Earth flat. Altitude angles, elevation angles, surface level, sea level, eye level, parallel with surface level, bubble sextants, mariner sextants, altitudes in the vertical, perpendicularity, zenith. All of these things that we have discussed are explicitly tied to a flat Earth.
The actual terrain of the Earth, fucking hilarious.
Now I'm being sweared about how hilarious this is. I mean, apparently what, this is me narrating? No, the hilarity that you find in flat Earth prerequisites is still a fact of an axiomatic principle you guys need and then have to lie about and deny.
Of all people doing that, Mr. Elevation Angle has nothing to do with the terrain of Earth.
Absolutely, it's clues in the title. I know you're now backing your guru Toon and his lies that elevation angles have nothing to do with the surface, end quote him. And Buck, who also lied about it on this very show. But they absolutely tie directly to the surface. That's what elevation means.
Stop trying to run to the next person, Nathan. I'm not done with
Right, oh, sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to have 3 people spurg through the top of you, my friend. Absolutely blame me for that. That's my fault. I'm sorry that I'm responding to all 3 of you at once as you spurg through the fact that you've had to lie about this.
Nathan, we're not talking.
Oh, sorry, was that 3 guys I could hear? Oh, I'm really sorry that me and my influence meant that 3 people had to speak back at me. I'm so sorry.
Was my lie when I said it wasn't the exact, verbatim definition?
Yeah, we heard you say that it's not the exact verbatim definition, making you an abject liar. Yeah, we understand that it wasn't what was written down. When you said it'll pretty much match, end quote you, no, it didn't match at all. Yeah, you are definitely a liar, my friend. Just making shit up.
What definition?
What did you hear that guy stuttering? What? Yeah. You can't get a grip on the sentence you're about to say, mate. Your brain can't keep up with your mouth because you're under pressure because you've been caught out lying.
No.
No. So when you just said literally 30 seconds ago, it did not match verbatim. When you told us it would pretty much match verbatim, that's not you lying. No, you have definitely been caught in a lie, my friend. Definitely, without question, you're a liar.
Does pretty much mean says it will match verbatim?
Yeah, pretty much means it'll pretty much match verbatim. Do you know what verbatim means? Oh my God, this guy doesn't know what verbatim means, does he?
Yeah, I said pretty much would. And
yeah, what pretty much match verbatim? Verbatim means match exactly. So if it'll pretty much match verbatim, then it'll pretty much be exactly the same freaking words. It wasn't. But you who had made shit up to lie about heights above geoid level, no, we don't have those. We've got heights above sea level, you lying piece of crap, that just made stuff up. And then when I called you out on it and got you to get your citation, it didn't pretty much match verbatim.
Joe, he's putting on for profit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did the two people talk? Was that my fault? Maybe I shouldn't respond to the Spurg that's having a little mental breakdown through the top of this guy being humiliated as a liar. My bad that two of you are talking at once. This is obviously my fault.
Well, I know he...
Stuttery! You're just a lying scumbag. That's what you've got to do to be a glurf. Lie non-stop.
Yeah, spiral, Nathan.
Spiral what? Point out that you're a liar? It's not me spiraling. Earth's measured flat. Elevation angles, altitude angles, surface level, sea level, areas of equal altitude. Every single detailed discussion point in today's show was based on Earth being measured flat.
Yeah, that's what Nathan Oakley believes, is the Earth is measured flat.
No, I've got an example of it on screen now. This is the demonstrated elevation acquisition. R1, R2, and R3 in this diagrammatical example are, with respect to the angles I described at the top of this show, minus from 90 times by 60 to give you R1, R2, and R3 in this diagrammatical example. This is the flat Earth prerequisite used in, quote, SalNav. This is how SalNav is done. It's done with a flat baseline so you can find your line of position. That's position on the ground, ladies and gentlemen. The same ground that lying scumbags like Buck, this guy who made up quotes about geodetic heights off a geoid, and McToon lying about it, quote, having nothing to do with the ground, demonstrably shows how we find our position on the ground with angles of elevation and surface level. That is what I am demonstrating and will continue to demonstrate in the face of complete liars.
Like the flat Earth in a nutshell right here. This is the flat Earth in a nutshell.
No. This is not even flat Earth. This is Nathan.
This is absolute.
So we're now hearing three people all Spurg at the same time. Three people having the same mental breakdown all at once. What, you say this is the summary of flat Earth? What, three glowbeds having a complete mental breakdown all at once?
Right here.
It really
Ladies and
is.
gentlemen, send in your super
I like
chat.
to give them more credit than this.
That's Spurg number 4. So now we've got 4 Spurgos all at once.
No,
Send in your super chat.
Spurging
We
out.
don't want to hear a repeat of
the main
your
point.
Can you hear them? They literally are fighting over each other to get their words through the top of me. Yeah, painful when you demonstrated a liar. Painful when I can example diagrammatically how flat Earth must be measured for elevation angles to find your line of position on the ground that you have to lie about. Does that really require all three of you to Spurg at once?
I'm not spurging out. I'm focused on the main thing that we've talked about, that we've been talking about, and you keep trying to run away from.
Oh, right. So when you said the height would be above geoid level and your citation didn't match, does that mean that you're a very honest person that didn't just make shit up on the spot?
And is Earth's surface distance from the geoid surface, the difference.
So when you said earlier that it was just the height above geoid level, it wasn't specifically referencing when you lied and made shit up about a difference between an actual surface and a geoid mathematical construct. Yeah, that's because you lied about it and just made it up, mate.
That's not an answer to his...
Sorry, do we hear the cuck on his behalf now Spurging for him? Yeah, he's been caught out with his pants down lying. That's what's happened. So we need someone else to defend his honour, don't we?
I don't need anyone to go for...
Oh, sorry, you've got somebody else who sensed the blood, my friend. While I point out to a live audience what a massive liar you are, there is nobody in any uncertain terms what a massive liar you are when you made shit up and said it came from a book. It didn't. You made it up. Now you're stuttering about what the difference between the surface and geoid is. No, you didn't say there was a difference when you made shit up and said it was a citation. Lied and said it'd pretty much be verbatim. Not that you understand what the word verbatim even means. Meanwhile, you are a demonstrable liar. Heights are from sea level, not geoid level, and the difference for the extracted mathematical construct of a geoid won't be comparable to the surface level we measure heights from. At sea level, not geoid level.
Nathan, if I was going to say this is the verbatim definition, I would say that. I wouldn't say this is pretty much the verbatim definition.
Sorry, that's a contradiction in terms. You can't be pretty much verbatim. You don't know what the word verbatim means, do you? You are unbelievably stupid.
Verbatim? When I say pretty much verbatim.
Yeah, what does verbatim mean? So it's pretty much verbatim. What does verbatim mean?
I'm listening to you.
What does verbatim mean?
No,
I am listening to you. Now I'm being accused of not freaking listening. I heard what he said. Yeah, pretty much verbatim. So let's go to the definitions. This is going to be 20 times while we go around in circle because he can't accept what a massive liar is. Because he made it up. He went out to look it up afterwards. And when he couldn't find the words that he'd made up in the book, he quoted something completely different. That makes him a liar.
The verbatim definition is distance from geoid surface.
No. What does verbatim itself mean? What does the words verbatim mean? What does that mean?
Means the exact same words.
So, did you use the exact same words, you complete scumbag liar?
Yes. Yeah.
No, you didn't. Now he's lying. Complete scumbag. So when he's caught out in a lie, complete and utter lie, he says, yeah, they were verbatim. No, they weren't.
So
you're a liar. So I'm done talking to scumbag glurf liars, because that's what you gotta do. You gotta make up citations and then claim they're pretty much verbatim. What, pretty much the exact words? No, they weren't anything like the exact words. You are unequivocally a liar.
So what you said,
Stuttery, wasn't a verbatim quote. You just made it up.
What I said elevation is the distance from the geoid.
No, it isn't. That's why it wasn't in your quote. That is not what it says. So now he's doubling down on his egregious lies. What a complete scumbag. Why do we have to deal with this? He gets caught out in his lie, and then what's he do? Oh, well, I'll double down on it.
You're overspeaking and you're fucking retarded.
Made himself look like a tit, so he's trying to do damage control.
So the exact definition is...
I don't need the exact definition. You told me you had a verbatim quote. We went and looked it up and it wasn't. You think I need to hear it again and how it didn't match what you said it would be verbatim? It wasn't. You're just a liar.
Is when you interrupted me, that made it a verbatim match.
Sorry, my interruption doesn't change complete egregious lie where he made shit up on the spot into a verbatim quote. This is the worst kind of damage control ever. Now he's blaming me for his lies when he said he got a verbatim quote. Total lie.
The first three words of the actual definition is distance from geoid. And I said your elevation is the distance from the geoid.
It isn't. It specifically says in the rest of that quote that you're now ignoring that it's reference to the actual Earth's surface as opposed to a measurement from the geoid. A geoid is a mathematical construct. You're never going to get a measurement in reality from a mathematical construct. You're just wrong. Continually doubling down on your lie just demonstrates to my audience what bunch of scumbags you all are.
Isn't it funny how, like, when you interrupted me, I actually...
Now back to this shit. What? Oh, I accidentally lied because you interrupted me. No, you made shit up and said it was a citation. It wasn't.
When you interrupted me...
Now, you're going to keep saying that it's because I've interrupted you that you lied. You're not going to blame me for your lies.
Nathan, this is...
You say my name, you scumbag lying bitch.
This has been absolutely hysterical.
What, you getting caught out lying? You think that's funny? I find it absolutely infuriating. The fact that my opponents, so-called because they're not, have to lie about everything. Oh yeah, of course it's a citation from a book. All right, is it verbatim? Yeah, pretty much. A verbatim quote. Not at all. Now this is hysterical. What, you're being demonstrated a lie and you find it funny?
How is it not at all if the first three match? If my definition
verbatim means exactly the same. That's what verbatim means. Yes. Exactly the same.
Yes, and pretty much verbatim means not exactly the same.
Oh, so pretty much not exactly the same. No, my friend, you're not going to get out of the fact you've lied and made this shit up. Meanwhile, Earth is still measured flat with elevation angles. They're directly tied to the surface, denoted by the word elevation. Azimuth is still a horizontal directionality applied to Earth and navigation. Altitude angles are still from surface level. Altitudes are still from sea level. Eye level is still parallel with surface level. Everything we do in navigation is explicitly tied to Earth's surface. You're all lying about it having nothing to do with
claims and more claims.
Why are we
not a claim?
Navigation?
Not a claim. A measurement of an elevation angle isn't a claim. It's a measurement of Earth's surface.
It's not a measurement. That's also a lie. I just want 4 seconds. So my original definition was geoid, the elevation.
Right, why are we hearing an original definition? So we've got an original one, and the one that demonstrates the original isn't the same as the new one. So we've got 2 then. Well, it definitely isn't verbatim, is it?
My original definition is that your elevation is your distance from the geoid.
Yeah, oh my God. So we're going to have him doubling down on the shit that's wrong over and over again. Can someone remove this complete liar from my presence? I don't want to deal with his lies anymore. He's just tripling down on the thing that's been shown to be untrue. Don't triple down on it. That's absolute scumbag behaviour.
You lied about the 24-hour sun.
Oh, here we go. Now I've got to be accused of lying about something that alleged to take place. What, the 24 azimuthal flat measurement of the sun?
Oh, fuck off, Oakley. Suck a dick, you cocks.
Now I'm being told to fuck off. I heard 24-hour sun. The sun was measured with azimuth. It's a flat Earth only measurement.
Yeah, but you lied about
it. Sorry, I lied about what? The azimuthal flat Earth only measurement of the sun?
No, that there was not a...
Oh, no, so we're not lying when we say we've got a flat Earth only azimuthal directionality to measure the sun for 24 hours. Yeah, it's a flat Earth only measurement of azimuth.
You're a liar. You need to...
No, that's not a response. We've got a flat Earth measurement. Azimuth, I've mentioned it multiple times on this live stream. Azimuth is a flat Earth only direction. If we're measuring this sun you've brought up as a non sequitur to a liar, then the measurement of the sun is in azimuth. It's a flat Earth only direction.
Liar says what?
He's a liar.
Sorry, why is chanting liar going to... Is this what I get? I catch someone out in a complete lie and I get a load of scumbags calling me a liar. No, the subject's now changed to the measurement alleged to take place in the south, that's a flat Earth direction, of azimuth, that's a flat Earth measurement, of the sun. So we've got a flat Earth measurement. What's that? Liar, accused of me? Absolutely no substantiation in spite of the 20 minutes we've explained to the audience how the scumbag on that panel made up a citation and said it was verbatim. Liars.
Why you're a hypocrite? Hypocrite.
You're a liar and a hypocrite. You're a liar.
No. Oakley's always talked about the measurements on Earth and rejected any of the postulations made by the stars. So you fucktards are lying because he's always fucking stuck to the Earth.
No, but he said there was no. Hey, Issa, you missed it. Oakley said there was no 24-hour sun in the Antarctic.
No, you won't get a quote that says that. What you'll get is me interviewing a guy who spent a significant period of time down there called Robert Shortman. Robert Shortman explained his experience where he did not experience a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Again, are we going to get a quote?
It's different than saying there's not a 24-hour sun.
Sorry, did we get a quote? Nathan says, quote, and then where it came from with an end quote afterwards. Are we going to get that, or is this another lie? I've just been accused of saying something. I've qualified that I interviewed somebody who'd spent 18 months in Antarctica who detailed his experience with no 24-hour sun being part of his experience. Now I'm saying the accusation is I have said that. Now I'm asking if we're going to show this guy a liar, because I've just had a barrage of lies. What do we get immediately afterwards? A lie made up about something I haven't said.
Go ahead, White Knight, Issa. Go ahead, White Knight. Shut up,
dude. You know, that footage that Oakley had was when Flat Earth was at its very infancy, dude. That's why Oakley is what he is, because he was out here before anyone else was doing it. And so fucking his video with him was back when none of us knew and we were all speculating. So you're at
he took it from
such a shallow, petty thing to do, bro.
Oh, so I agree, Issa, and he just did that. You idiots.
Right, meanwhile, the measurement,
measured flat.
the measurement's flat. Exactly, Neil. So we've got a 24-hour sun, allegedly. I mean, I don't know if that's the case. I wasn't there to confirm it. Nevertheless, incongruent with a previous experience from the man named Robert Shortman, is that we've got a 24-hour azimuthal directionality measured from a plane. That's what the suggestion is in this alleged trip to Antarctica. Okay, well, then we've got a flat Earth measurement of azimuth for 24 hours. Hello?
Save me, Neil. Save me.
Right, that isn't a response. Save me, Neil isn't a response. We've got an azimuthal directionality measured for 24 hours, allegedly taking place in Antarctica. Third time's a charm. That's a flat Earth measurement.
No, I couldn't do it. I need your help, Neil.
Can someone shut Buck Sodbuster up? Because he can obviously sense how devastating this is. We've got a flat Earth measurement of azimuth for 24 hours, allegedly taking place. That's a flat Earth measurement.
That's got Arwen back instead of Neil.
So we've descended into audio chaos. I don't know what I can do. I've got no control over this server. But while I'm pointing out that an alleged measurement has taken place in Antarctica, that's a 24-hour sun. End quote these guys. I didn't bring this up. I point out that we've got a 24-hour flat Earth azimuthal measurement. And what do we get? We should have Arwen back.
Yep. Neil.
You know,
yeah, that's not a response.
I don't realize that the audience is hearing this.
Yeah, that's not a response. We've got a flat Earth measurement. I've brought it up 5 times so far. Is anybody going to actually address the point on the table that if we've got a measurement alleged to take place in Antarctica, the measurement is of a flat Earth?
Better with Arwen as opposed to Neil.
Yeah, let's ask Arwen back on your show.
Yeah, so what we've got now is a pointless endeavour being here because nobody's responding to the flat Earth measurements that have been brought up. They brought up Antarctica. They brought up a 24-hour alleged sun. I point out that the only measurements of a flat Earth, and we get, we should have Arwen back over and over again. No point in interacting anymore.
I can address
the audience hears this.
It's what measurements do.
Shut up, Neil.
Yeah, that's what we get. Shut up, Neil. Yeah, the audience can hear you obfuscating this flat Earth measurement fact.
You're telling me to shut up.
Yeah, that's what we get, Neil. We get told to shut up so you can trigger my summary of the fact that 6 times I've pointed out Earth's being measured flat with azimuthal directionality of the sun for 24 hours in an alleged trip to Antarctica. That's a flat Earth-only measurement.
This show is better with Arwen. 7 times we point out.
Right, I'm going to have to disappear. Moderator.
Bye.
Yeah, let's leave this place.
That's an assumption.
This is a clown show. This is an absolute clown show. All these muppets have not got any fucking measurements. They're all just retards.
Be quiet. Let Neil. If someone's going to cuff one deck, let Neil do it. He's way better at it than you. Shut up, Neil.
Yeah, that's all we've got. So again, I'll bring it up for the 7th time. Somebody brought up the measurements alleged to take place in Antarctica. That's a flat Earth measurement of azimuth.
No, it's not. This is the 9th time, Wesley.
Oh, 9th time. Arwen's better than Neil. Have Arwen back. You might get a bit more listeners.
But that's the response. Arwen is better than Neil. That's the response to Earth's being measured flat with azimuth.
Neil is better than one deck.
This has got nothing to do with the measurement that's being made.
Nathan Oakley.
Arwen is much better, smarter than Nathan Oakley.
It's an assumption that it's flat Earth measurement.
No, it's an azimuth, horizontal degree from north. That's what azimuth is, my friend. Yo, Rasta, do you know what azimuth is?
What are you doing, Nathan?
Should we talk to the Rasta?
It's horizontal.
Yeah, azimuth is horizontal.
Can
That's
somebody
correct.
mute Nathan so we can talk to Arwen?
Did you all hear that, ladies and gentlemen? When you approach the echo chamber of globe believers, they want you putting on mute. Now, why? Well, because I'm talking about, for the 8th time, azimuthal measurements. Now, I'm trying to communicate with the Rasta. The Rasta doesn't seem to think that's the case. All right, let's talk to the Rasta then. So you don't know what azimuth is then, Rasta?
Arwen's way smarter and talks way better than you do.
Right, we've heard about Arwen for about the last 5 straight minutes. What are we going to do? So literally, they've shut down completely. They've completely shut down when it comes to the flat Earth measurement fact of azimuth. They've just shut down and only want to talk about people. Yeah, small minds. Small minds.
No, they're trying to ruin the show. That's what they want to do now.
Stop talking for Nathan. Shut up, Neil.
You're irrelevant, Oakley. You're irrelevant and a loser. Go away.
Right, okay. So when I point out that Earth's measured flat with azimuth in Antarctica, that's me being irrelevant, is it?
Why are we talking about this guy?
It's you being boring. It's you being boring. We'd rather.
All right. So when you brought up azimuthal directionality for the 24-hour sun, that's me being boring. I didn't bring this up. You guys did. It seems that when it's pointed out that it's only a flat Earth horizontal measurement of azimuth, suddenly it becomes boring.
We heard you.
Do you want to get a grip there, Stuttery? Yeah, Earth's measured flat. If we're alleging that we've measured a 24-hour sun, we're measuring it in azimuth. It's a horizontal degree from north. It's only a flat measurement that you've brought up.
Your belief system.
Right, no, azimuth's not a belief. Azimuth's a measurement. It's the measurement that was made, alleged, in Antarctica. That's a flat Earth measurement.
Anyways, he doesn't respond. He doesn't respond. When you try to respond to him, he overspeaks you. But if you stop speaking, he'll start calling you out again. Nathan, leave so we could listen to Arwen. He's far more interesting than you, honestly.
Yeah, I get you. You want an easy target. Yeah, you want Arwen to talk with because you can't cope with me. I get that. Yeah, when I talk about how flat Earth is measured in Antarctica because you guys brought it up, you want to talk to Arwen. Yeah, I understand. It looks absolutely terrible to the audience.
I think he just wants someone he can have a conversation with.
Right, what about Antarctica? You guys brought it up. I point out Earth's measured flat there. Now you want rid of me. You want to talk to Arwen. An easier target, an easier discussion.
But the measurements.
Help me, Arwen. Help me. We don't want to talk about Antarctica being measured flat, even though you brought it up.
Hear him. I'd like to hear him try to explain why the sun was seen due south at Antarctica.
He's not going to answer it. He's not going to answer it. I know you want to know. He's not going to answer it for you. He's a coward.
Why am I being called a coward when I've brought up 9 times that Earth is measured flat with azimuthal directionality? If you're going to allege that there's a 24-hour sun being measured with degrees as it rotates about you, that's azimuth. That's a flat, horizontal measurement of Earth.
It doesn't depend on flat.
What's azimuth, Rasta?
This guy isn't paying for the privilege.
We're going to talk to the Rasta. Rasta, what's azimuth mean? Are you Dumbo? When are we going to get through to the Rasta? You all defending the Rasta? Rasta?
Flat ground.
Rasta, what does azimuth mean? What does azimuth mean, Rasta?
Azimuthal directionality does not depend on a flat ground.
Yeah, I didn't ask you what it doesn't mean. I asked you what it meant, as in define what azimuth means. Define it.
It doesn't depend. Ground.
Don't tell me what it doesn't do. Define what it is.
No, it doesn't depend. The argument is flat versus globe. The ground.
What does azimuth mean?
Directionality does not depend on a flat ground.
Right, azimuth is the horizontal angle of the object measured clockwise from true north around the horizon. That is absolutely unequivocally a definition of a flat Earth measurement. It's horizontal.
On a flat ground, because the line goes to a point. The point.
No, lines don't go to points, Rasta. You obviously don't know what a line is. If it's a single point, it's not a line. You're an idiot.
Azimuthal is a line from the object in the sky to a point on the ground.
That's not what azimuth is. I've just defined it. I'll read it again. Azimuth is the horizontal angle of an object measured clockwise from true north around the horizon.
It doesn't depend on a ground being flat. It depends on the object that you look at.
No, part of the definition was the word horizon. The horizon is formed with the ground. So when you say nothing to do with the ground, yeah, it's got the word horizon in the definition, Rasta.
Horizon doesn't mean horizontal, Rasta.
Yeah, no, it means the ground, though. You said it had nothing to do with the ground. Anybody notice a repeating theme here? I define what azimuth is. It explicitly includes the ground. It's got the horizon in it. The horizon's formed with the ground. What do I hear from Rasta? Nothing to do with the ground. No, it absolutely is to do with the ground. It's part of the definition.
Horizon doesn't mean horizontal. Stop lying to the people. Now,
right, I'll just read out the definition again. Azimuth is the horizontal angle of an object measured clockwise from true north around the horizon. It's got the word horizontal in the frickin' definition, you dumbo.
Horizon is not horizontal.
It's in the definition. I just read it out twice. Are you mentally retarded? Were you dropped on your frickin' head? Are you deaf? I've read it out twice. Horizontal is in the definition.
Horizon doesn't mean horizontal.
Oh my God. Sorry, azimuth includes part of the definition being horizontal degrees.
Horizon is horizontal.
Oh my God.
Horizon doesn't mean... Horizon means the edge. That's what horizon means. Now, azimuthal directionality does not depend on the ground being flat. Period.
Yeah, it does. Part of the definition is in respect to the horizon. The horizon is explicitly formed with the ground.
Horizon is not horizontal.
That's not what I said. I didn't say it was or wasn't. Part of the definition of azimuth is horizontal, and included in the definition is the horizon that directly ties this measurement to the ground. Now, I'm not saying the definition is of horizontal, so you can argue about whether horizontal and horizon are anything to do with each other, like a complete idiot. Meanwhile, azimuth is a measurement in the horizontal and directly tied to the horizon, formed with the ground.
Horizontal. Horizon does not mean horizontal.
Oh my God. Azimuth is what we're defining. We're defining azimuth as being horizontal, you dumbass.
Perfect, Nathan. Azimuthal directionality does not depend on the ground being flat.
Yeah, it does. It's a horizontal measurement. And it's directly tied to the ground when it uses the word horizon. The horizon ties it to the ground. The horizon's formed with the ground. And the measurement is explicitly a horizontal measurement.
It's from
Just
a point on the ground,
my friend.
It's from a point on the ground. Azimuthal directionality is from the point on the ground.
So it's got something to do with the ground then, you dumbass. You've just spent 3 minutes denying that it's to do with the ground. So yeah, to do with the ground then, you complete clown.
Aren't you measuring the ground? Aren't you?
Yeah, so when we measure horizontal degrees with respect to the ground, it's a horizontal measurement of the ground then. Yeah, we got there in the end, you dumbass.
It's about the ground.
Yeah, it is. It's explicitly to do with the ground. We're navigating the ground with it, you dumbass.
The direction you're looking, dumbass.
Oh, sorry, we need another cuck to help out the raster, do we? We finally got to the point where it's a point on the ground that it's got nothing to do with, and the horizontal's got nothing to do with the horizon, that's not the ground, and the definition of azimuth being a degree in the horizontal doesn't mean it's anything to do with the ground that we've got a point on. Yeah, it definitely is to do with the ground. It's definitely a horizontal-only measurement. It's a flat Earth by prerequisite measurement of degrees in the horizontal with respect to the ground that we're assessing for directionality. Azimuth is a flat Earth-only measurement.
The second lie that you're talking about now.
And now I'm being accused of being a liar. What a complete scumbag. Yep. Total wanker.
Horizon means horizontal. Horizon does.
Sorry, it's in the freaking definition. Oh my God. It doesn't mean horizontal. Let's read it out again, because obviously I'm going to be accused of being a liar. Fourth word. Azimuth is the horizontal angle. What's that, raster? Not horizontal. No, you're a wanker.
We are talking about the azimuthal directionality. It does not depend on the ground being flipped.
Yeah, it does. It's a horizontal. We're just going around in circles with this wanker. I'm done with him. It doesn't seem to matter how many times I define how horizontal this measurement is and explicitly tie it to the ground with the word horizon formed with the frickin' ground. He's still going to go around in circles telling me that I'm a liar about it. No, I just read out a definition. Unlike you bunch of scumbags, I don't just make shit off the top of my head and then parrot it out like it's a verbatim quote. I read off the definition. Got the word horizontal in it, you dumbass.
Psychological dilemma time.
Religious zealotry.
Shut up, Neil. Shut up one deck.
Shut up, Neil.
Yeah, that's the best response you've got. Tell my panel to shut up when we've got a horizontal measurement. Notice how nobody's actually addressing the key issue that this measurement in the horizontal apparently is proof of something to do with Earth and its surface. When the guys who alleged to go to Antarctica made this measurement, it proved everything to do with the Earth. The second it's a horizontal measurement, nothing to do with the ground. Okay, so is it only an acceptable measurement if you're suggesting that this horizontal measurement proves your ball? Then it's an acceptable measurement, right?
Stop coping.
I get told to stop talking. Yeah, we're only accepting horizontal degrees from north if they're then used to suggest we've got a ball as the ground. Then it's an acceptable ground measurement. The minute it's just a horizontal measurement with respect to the ground, nothing to do with the ground, because we haven't said it makes the ground ball-shaped yet.
It doesn't have anything to do with the ground.
But you're saying it makes it flat.
That's what you need to admit. You have to admit that azimuthal directionality has nothing to do or does not mean that the Earth is flat.
It does. It's a horizontal measurement directly tied to the surface. So what you're saying is, when the guys go down to Antarctica, their measurements don't have any proof for the ground, then?
Yes, it does.
Oh, I see. So when the guys who are claiming a ball use this measurement, it's definitely to do with the ground, correct?
You are in trouble. You
stuttery. So when it's claimed to be globe-proof, it's to do with the ground. When it's just a horizontal degree from north, then it's not to do with the ground. Am I correct?
Tell you why. I'm going to tell you why the Antarctica experiment proves the globe.
It's not an experiment. This is a measurement. So he's just making shit up again. We're down to liars lying about what this is. A measurement of horizontal azimuth isn't an experiment. So he's now trying to over-aggrandize this measurement of a horizontal plane as though it's an experiment. Total bullshit. Meanwhile, my question to the raster is, does this horizontal degree from north, referencing the horizon made with the ground, not prove the ball ground then?
The sun is at 24/7 around your head in Antarctica and 24/7 around your head in the Arctic. That can only happen on the globe.
Oh, I see. So when we measure horizontal degrees with respect to a plane, then it proves a ball. So now the ground is ball-shaped. This is acceptable evidence. So it does prove the ground if the ground is assumed to be ball-shaped, correct?
It can only happen on a ball.
Yeah, I got you the first time. So what you're saying is, when we measure this horizontal degree, it proves the ground is ball-shaped. Then the ground is acceptable as proof, because you say it proves the ground is ball-shaped. No, it's a horizontal degree. It's got absolutely sod all to do with anything ball-shaped. It's a horizontal measurement that, according to you, has got nothing to do with the ground. How can it prove the ground ball-shaped if it's got nothing to do with the ground?
That's a ball.
Yeah, how can it prove the... Shut up, Neil. How can it prove the ground is ball-shaped if you say it's got nothing to do with the ground?
Come on.
Hello? How can it prove the ground be ball-shaped if it's got nothing to do with the ground?
It has everything to do with the ground.
So if we're definitely assuming that the ground is ball-shaped, then this horizontal measurement's everything to do with the ground. But if it's just a horizontal measurement, then nothing to do with the ground. I see. So it can only be used as proof of the ground being ball-shaped. It's a horizontal measurement, though.
In June, that same sun is 24 hours around your head in the Arctic. In November, that same sun is 24 hours around your head in Antarctica. That cannot happen on a flat plane.
Well, yes, it is. You're describing something above you. Above your head is with respect to a plane. You say it won't work on a flat Earth. To be above is a planar description. To be above or below is a planar description, you dumbass. This can only work as a description with respect to a plane. The sun being above you, that's a planar description, you dumbass.
That same light is providing light in the upper latitude.
Upper latitude? Latitude's a measurement from surface level. It's a degree from surface. Yeah? That's what latitude is. As for the planar measurement that you're measuring in the horizontal, according to you, this has got nothing to do with the ground. Now you're saying it only works on a ball ground. No, according to you, this has got nothing to do with the ground. This horizontal degree from north. Yeah, it's a horizontal measurement. It's everything to do with the ground.
Your head in the Arctic while giving light.
Why are you asking me something? We've got a horizontal measurement. If you accept this measurement is proving something to do with the ground, then we're measuring horizontally.
That sun is 24 hours in June and 24 hours in November.
Yeah, it's just like a stuck frickin' record. What he described earlier was the sun being above my head. Yeah, it doesn't matter if I travel south, that's a horizontal direction, or north, that's another horizontal direction, and see the sun above, that's a description in the vertical with respect to a plane, then every single aspect of what you've described is only capable of being described on a flat plane. That's what above means. For the sun to be above you, that's with respect to a plane, you dumbass.
And now he's going to wait for you to talk? and 3 words in, he's going to interrupt you.
Are we going to get a conclusion? We're measuring something above a plane. Above is planar. He said the sun was above you in 2 different locations. South, horizontal. North, horizontal. Above, with respect to a plane.
Yet this is your belief.
No. Above is axiomatically tied to a plane. You're not above a curve. No, that's not a principle of verticality. Verticality, being above something, is tied to a plane. Directly tied to planar descriptions. He said the sun was above me. Okay, that's a planar description. He said that in the south, Arctic and Antarctic, and in the north, south, those are horizontal directions. So if we travel in a horizontal direction, the sun will be axiomatically above me with respect to a plane. He said that didn't work on a flat earth. That's the stupidest thing he's ever said.
24-hour sun and other things. Nathan Oakley ignores that topic.
I haven't ignored anything. I've been told the sun is above us in the north and in the south. North and south are flat. Now, apparently, that's got nothing to do with the ground. Okay, even though he's describing where he is on the ground in a different location, with the directionality, planar, horizontal. Yeah, he's describing where he is on the ground when he uses these terms. When I say, well, it's a horizontal degree, nothing to do with the ground. Okay, so this isn't going to prove a ball ground then? Oh, no, it's definitely proving a ball ground. Why? Well, because if I travel in a horizontal direction, the sun is axiomatically planar vertically with respect to that plane. Therefore not capable of being on a flat plane? That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Above is with respect to a plane.
Since Nathan ignores...
Is it just me, or am I hearing this wanker as opposed to the Rasta that's just been absolutely annihilated? Of course! The Rastas use words that are planar, so some other cuck has to step in and moan.
Listen. The point is...
he's a famous groupie.
Circular... Hold on. Circular triangles exist.
Yeah, absolutely. That's same as hexagonal squares. Of course. Octagonal squares exist too. Yeah. Circular triangles. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I want you to tell this room that circular triangles don't exist and you can't get angles from them. Go ahead.
Right, circles are circles. They don't have any straight lines. Triangles have got 3 angles. Circles don't have any angles, you stupid idiot.
He's a little bitch.
Oh, so now I'm being called names. Meanwhile, yeah, circles aren't triangles. It's the stupidest thing ever. Meanwhile, we do have your claim that if I travel south, I'll see the sun above me. Those are planar descriptions that you're appealing to, Rasta.
Hello, everybody. Let me introduce you to circular triangles, guys. Robert, and you can get angles from them.
So Buck knows this guy's getting absolutely humiliated. So now we've got Buck. So we've got 3 men all spurging at once. Is it just me, or am I being completely ignored when I describe how flat Earth is measured? That would be, if we travel north, that's a horizontal degree. It's called azimuth. And we look at the sun above us, that's a planar description in the vertical. Then somehow, what, that's nothing to do with the ground? It's everything to do with the ground.
Can you be quiet for a moment?
Right, you giving me orders, are you, dickhead? According to you, the show was over earlier. It seems like you were wrong. Yeah, we can't seem to trust a single word you say when you decide my show's over. No, we're going to the Rasta's claim. Rasta says sun above. Above is a planar word, my friend.
Go ahead, guys. Sorry for Nathan's interruption.
This is the reason why I told him azimuthal directionality has nothing to do with if the shape of the Earth is flat or spherical.
All right, so you won't be using it as a claim of sphericity then when you explicitly now go on to say that this works on a ball. You won't be claiming that. Okay, so this does not prove a ball then. Toon, are you listening? This Rasta says your measurements don't prove a ball.
On a ball because circular triangles...
No. They're not measuring circular triangles. They're measuring azimuth. Yeah, this non sequitur's a shite non sequitur. Nobody in Antarctica measured circular triangles, you stupid retard.
Google search, type examples of circular triangles.
No circular triangles were measured in Antarctica. They measured azimuth. Azimuth being a horizontal degree that, according to this clown, has nothing to do with the ground. Rasta, my friend, according to you, they're measuring a plane. Horizontal degrees for the sun. Yeah, that would be a planar measurement. Then you gave locations. Yeah, that was with respect to the ground as well, the one you're denying. You said that they went south as opposed to north, both horizontal directions. Then you said the sun was above you. Yeah, those are all planar descriptions. You need a flat earth for everything you've detailed.
No. All you need is a circular triangle.
This will go down in the comments. People love this from the audience when some complete retard from the globe side starts saying things like circular triangles. Why are we talking about circular triangles? Oh, because it's used several planar descriptions of directionality, north and south, horizontal degrees, nothing to do with the ground, except when he's describing travelling in a northward direction on the ground, to look at the sun above the ground. Yeah, those are with respect to the ground, though, aren't they?
Because you can get a circular triangle. Yeah. Circular triangles exist.
Okay, how many circular triangles were measured allegedly in Antarctica? Go.
In other words, look it up. Rouleaux, Reuleaux, triangles. You can get lovely angles from them. So the ground can be curved or the ground can be flat. You can get azimuthal directionality perfectly.
Yeah, azimuthal directionality is horizontal. I defined it earlier. Angles are two straight lines meeting at a vertex. So no, there's no such thing as circular angles. You're just an idiot.
Let me say it again. It's not because the Earth is flat. Because rouleaux exist. Rouleau triangles exist. So you can get azimuthal directionality from a curved Earth or from a flat Earth.
No, you can't. Let's just define it again for this retard who thinks that somehow azimuth has something to do with curve. No, you're just wrong. Azimuth is the horizontal angle of an object measured clockwise from true north around the horizon. That doesn't say anything about spherical triangles. It doesn't say anything about anything to do with triangles. It does specifically describe it as horizontal, though.
No, it says angle, and you can get angles from circular triangles. That's what it says. So azimuthal directionality doesn't mean the Earth is flat.
Yeah, it does. It's specifically describing it as horizontal. That's what horizontal means.
No. No, we're describing...
No, yes. I'll read it again. Azimuth in the horizontal. It's part of the definition that it's horizontal. That's not curving. It's horizontal.
That is what we're describing. We are describing azimuthal directionality. We're not describing the shape of the Earth.
Yeah, we are. When we travel with respect to these directions. Like when you say you travelled north to the Arctic or south, do you think that those aren't describing detailed explanations of how you travelled in a direction with respect to the ground? Did you think when you went north it had nothing to do with the ground? I'm pretty sure that the only reason we use these terminologies is to describe things with respect to the ground, you dumb rasta.
No.
Yeah. When we describe going north, that's with respect to the ground, you stupid retard.
The shape of the ground has nothing to do with azimuthal.
Yeah, it does. It's a direction with respect to the ground. It's horizontal directionality with respect to the ground that we're travelling. The only reason we'd ever use the word north is to describe the frickin' ground.
Or the base of the triangle can be concave. Circular triangles exist. You can get lovely angles from them. Again, azimuthal directionality does not say the ground is flat or the ground is curved.
Yeah, it does. It says it's horizontal explicitly. When I describe north, I'm describing travelling with respect to the ground. It's absolutely unequivocally tied directly to the ground. You used it when you described travelling to do different locations. So when you said travelling south, were you not talking about the ground?
What I'm saying to you is that the ground can be curved or flat.
No. When you said travelling south, south wasn't curved. Azimuth isn't curving. Azimuth is horizontal. So according to you, when you need it to be the ground, it's a curving azimuth. No, azimuth's horizontal.
No, azimuthal direction.
Yeah. I'll read it again for this lying scumbag dirty rasta who seems to think that he can just lie. No, it explicitly details it. Azimuth is the horizontal angle of an object measured clockwise from true north around the horizon. That's explicit. It says the cardinal points include north 0 degrees, east 90 degrees, south 180 degrees, and west 270 degrees. Those aren't curving. Yeah, they're describing when we travel with respect to the ground.
Yes, but the ground...
Yeah! Shut up, you stupid Rasta! You're just infuriating with your outright lies that you have to tell. Yeah, we know it's to do with the ground. It's horizontal measurements of degrees when talking about the ground.
To be flat, degrees can be on a circular triangle.
No, they're horizontal degrees, you dumbass. No, they're not talking about curved ground when we talk about horizontal direction. You've obviously travelled north with a curve? No, you don't travel north with a curve, you idiot.
You're not listening again.
Oh, am I not? No, I'm pretty sure I can hear the Rasta agreeing with me when he needs directionality to travel to different locations to explicitly be referencing the ground he's denying this has anything to do with. Oh, it's got nothing to do with the horizontal ground when we travel the ground in a direction with respect to the ground, because it's horizontal. Now, if it can curve when it's explicitly horizontal, then it can be the ground, right? Yeah, I am listening to him. He's a dumbass.
All right, be quiet. Go ahead, Robert.
Sorry, no, you're not going to tell me to be quiet so that we can hear the Rasta lying about how this has nothing to do with the ground. It absolutely has something to do with the ground. If you've ever navigated the ground, you'll know that the degrees from north in the horizontal, that's azimuth, have everything to do with the ground this Rasta continually lies about.
Can be on a circular triangle.
No, it's not. There's nothing in the definition about circular triangles. Do you want to get me an azimuthal directionality description or definition that says it has something to do with circular triangles?
It's flat. Again, azimuthal directionality does not mean the ground is flat.
It does. It's horizontal degrees when detailing the ground for navigating the ground.
Yes, that's why you have nautical miles.
Yeah, so nautical miles are linear horizontal distance measurements. So yeah, we finally got there. Yeah, we're going to be travelling in a bearing, in a direction. Yeah, it's to do with the ground, you stupid idiot.
You don't know anything. You are...
Oh, now I'm being told I don't know anything. Yeah, I've just defined what azimuth is, you stupid Rasta.
Nautical miles is a direct reference to the curvature of the Earth.
No, it's a measurement with respect to an angle. It's a derived value. Nautical miles, as per this depiction on screen, are an angle, this 40 degrees, minus from 90 and times by 60 to give you the nautical mile distance along the flat plane. Nautical miles are planar. They're horizontal mile measurements, linear, derived from an angle with respect to a plane. What kind of angle? Oh, the one that Buck had to lie about. That would be an elevation angle. This depiction on screen gives you the elevation angle. You will minus from 90 and times by 60 to give you a linear, flat nautical mile distance. The curve is the degree you measure the angle through. The 40 degree has an curve of the protractor. Here's the curve. The 40 degree is with respect to a planar surface. Here's it again with respect to a plane. The angle measurement to the sun is planar. Now you can take this measurement of a degree, that's an angle off a plane, minus it from 90 and times it by 60 to give you a distance along this baseline in flat, linear nautical miles. Miles do not curve.
Nautical miles are a direct link to the curvature of the Earth.
No, they're not. They're measured from a plane. My God, on screen again for my audience. Here's an elevation angle. Where's the curve of the Earth? Oh, there isn't one. There's only the curve of these little degree symbols. That's what the curve is. Yeah, 90, that's the curve. A, that's the angle to the star. There's your curve. The measurements with respect to a plane and the derived value you calculate for a distance is the planar distance along the surface. There's no globe in this angle acquisition. There's no globe when we minus from 90 and times by 60. There's no globe when you describe the nautical miles in a linear distance format along the surface. Those linear nautical miles will form a radius to give you a circle of equal altitude. There's nothing globe-shaped in any of this process. Absolutely not.
Globe shape? No, we're talking about arc, curve.
Yeah, arc of this degree. The degree is the arc here. Here's your curve. The degree that's measured is the arc through the protractor. The angle is respect to a planar surface. And the measurement that you extract for the distance along the ground here is minusing from 90 and timesing by 60 this measured angle from a plane. There is absolutely nothing globe-shaped in this process. The only curve is the curve of the angle you measure.
Again, you can have a
Wow, we gotta go one at a time, guys. I'm sorry, I'm mad busy at work. I didn't even have reception half that time. We gotta go one at a time. No, we can't hear anything.
And yeah, we got in a lot of chats obfuscation from Discord, unfortunately, Jeremy. When I point out that they lie about Earth being spherical or degrees in the horizontal from north having absolutely nothing to do with a curved surface because they're horizontal degrees from north, we're told that they're not the ground. And then when I point out that they're describing the ground when they describe differences in directionality for locations on the ground with these directions that are horizontal degrees and everything to do with the ground and navigating the ground, suddenly they're nothing to do with the ground because they're flat. Oh, unless, of course, you're suggesting sphericity, then they're everything to do with the ground, but only if you're begging the question. Meanwhile, as depicted on screen multiple times, we've got horizontal degrees from north with the description of the horizon. Oh yeah, here's a flat earth depiction of azimuth. And what are we measuring? Oh right, ascension and declination. Oh, what you mean elevation angles to a star off a plane? Yeah, this is how we measure Earth. If we suggest that this plane for the degrees of azimuth and this plane for the angle we're going to measure and minus from 90 and times by 60 for the nautical mile flat plane distance has something to do with a sphere, then we'd be inside a sphere. We're not inside a sphere. We're on a plane measuring angles from a plane. So we can get nautical mile distances on a plane, flat for circles of equal altitude, flat for directionalities, flat for azimuth. Everything about every measurement ever made on Earth's surface was flat.
And you can have a curved baseline to get elevation angles.
No, you can't. On screen now, you can see by this depiction, there is no curve in the azimuth. There is no curve in the elevation angle. Absolutely not. If it was curved, it wouldn't form an angle. An angle is two straight lines, you complete retard.
Elevation angles can be derived when the base of the triangle is curved.
No, angles are two straight lines. You're a moron. The definition of an angle is two straight lines meeting at a vertex. If it's curved, then you've got multiple angles along the curve to derive two straight lines from. That's an angle. You're saying, I can get an angle with a curve. Wrong, you're a moron. Earth's measured flat with angles. Here's a diagrammatical example of a planar measurement of an angle to a star with right ascension and declination. You don't get angles from curves.
The base of the triangle can be curved.
No, then it's not an angle, you dumbass. If one of the lines is bent, it's not an angle.
Elevation angle is not on the ground, you big dummy.
Well, this elevation angle is absolutely diagrammatically exampled as being from the ground. If you're describing it with respect to azimuth, that would be for directions on the ground. This diagrammatical example here describes azimuth as planar and altitude, shockingly, being directly and axiomatically tied to the ground, because that's what altitude means. When we measure an altitude angle, it's two straight lines, one's along the ground. That's why the clue in the title is the word altitude, meaning it's from the ground, meaning it's not bent if it's an angle. You're just wrong.
This elevation angle doesn't. This elevation angle, you're not exactly getting an elevation from it, right?
But yeah, you're getting a degree in the vertical. Elevation meaning from surface level. Let's just start there. Do you understand what the word elevation means?
The height above mean sea level.
Welcome to Flat Earth. So if we're describing elevation, it's directly tied to the surface. If it's an elevation angle, it's a degree from the surface. The surface being the base, the zero. Now, if by chance you're up a hill, you can establish a parallel plane with the surface. That is to say, if you establish a GP on the eye level, if you're using a bubble sextant, then it still meets below the plane you establish with the tool. Now, the reason you can call it an elevation angle is because it's parallel with surface level, like flight level or eye level. axiomatically tied horizontally to the ground if you're measuring for GPs. In this case, we're measuring the verticality of the angle from the surface. That's what an altitude angle is. If it's altitude or elevation, that's not an angle, just elevation. It's tied to sea level, like every height of everything ever. Now, just to confirm for the audience's benefit, notice he used the word sea level for altitudes, not geoid level like the lying scumbag earlier.
Well, I'm not a. Well, I mean, you said.
Get a grip, you stuttery twat! Yeah, sea level for measurements of altitude. Altitude angles from surface level. Get a grip!
I know, but you're not getting an elevation off of this elevation angle. If you are, what's the...
So you're not getting an elevation off this elevation angle? What a bloody hell are you babbling about? We're not trying to find the height of the star if we're measuring for distance in nautical miles. The purpose isn't to get the height. No one's travelling to the star. Navigation is for the ground. It's the ground that you all need to lie about. Are we suddenly trying to find our way to the frickin' star? Or are we trying to find our position on the ground?
I know, but Oakley, I asked you if you get an elevation from this elevation angle, and you don't, though. Because if you did, you could tell me the elevation to these stars.
And what would be the use of that if we're trying to find out where the fuck we are on the ground so we don't die at sea? Do we need the height of the star if we're trying to find out where we are on the ground?
I'm just saying we're not...
I know what you're just saying. I'm responding to it. You're saying you can't get the height from an elevation angle. And I replied... Are we trying to find our way to the star when we're lost at sea trying to find ground positions? Second time, you stupid idiot.
Well, let's not call names. And,
Idiot! Retard! Dumb fuck spastic! We're not finding our way to the star. We're finding our position on the ground. The same ground McToon had to lie about. This elevation angle, that's altitude angle, marked altitude A with an object with azimuth flat, with the observer detailed on the ground. These are measurements of the ground to find ground positions so we can navigate the frickin' ground. Third time. Do you, a retard, want to find your way to the star with this system, you stupid man? Idiot! Are you deaf?
you got to relax, Oakley. I'm just saying, like, calling this an elevation angle. It's just an angle. Like, you're not getting any...
No, it's not just an angle, Jeremy. It's an angle from the surface. If it was just an angle, we wouldn't be navigating the surface with it.
We allow this,
I'm not
Jeremy.
doubting you can I'm not doubting you can navigate with it. I'm just saying, calling this and this doesn't seem impossible to do off of the globe because you're not actually getting it. It would be a different elevation if we were doing it on a globe.
But elevation is from surface level, Jeremy. Elevation means with respect to surface level, sea level, being at the altitude of everything ever measured ever.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, so it's not global, you dumb fuck! Jeremy, you stupid spastic! Were you dropped on your fucking head? No, it's not from globe level then. So it couldn't work on a globe, like you retards just asserted.
You could get this angle off of a globe, yeah.
No, you fucking can't! It's a surface level acquisition. 2 straight lines. You're not going to get a straight line from a globe.
The baseline is your line of sight.
One-on-one.
That 1,000 times.
One-on-one.
You can't get an altitude angle from a globe. The globe has no levels to get this angle from. Furthermore, if you're going to suggest, Jeremy, that this works with a globe, it wouldn't work from the global surface. It would work inside the globe on the equatorial plane. That's how it works if you suggest that this works globally. Do you not understand how this declination angle works when you're describing it from an equatorial plane inside a globe on a plane called the equatorial plane? Because it seems, Jeremy, that you've just suggested this works from the global surface. Wrong.
Yeah, if you were on the surface of a globe, right?
No, wrong.
We're on a globe, right?
No, you're not listening.
Let's just pretend we're on a globe.
No, you're not listening. It's just, no, you're not listening, Jeremy. It doesn't work on the globe. In a globe on the equatorial plane is not on a globe. Are you deaf? Second time. You're wrong. You don't understand how this works.
And I'm not deaf. Let's not be spastic and go.
Retard! Jeremy the spastic fucktard! It does not work on the global surface if you describe this angle. It works in the globe on the equatorial plane, never on the surface. You're just wrong. Are you hearing me, Jeremy, you fucking retard?
I heard, dude, you can't call names here.
I'll call you a fucking retard. If you suggest that this works globally, it works in, not on, end quote you, a globe. This never works on a globe, Jeremy. You're just wrong.
Names here, please. Like, that's not okay.
Don't plead with me, you dumb fuck. You're just wrong, Jeremy. This does not work on a globe. It only ever gets described in a globe on the equatorial plane. You're just wrong.
He was just talking the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're just wrong, Jeremy. You said it worked on the surface. That's incorrect.
He's just here to talk over everybody who challenges him.
Sorry, is it just me? Or did Jeremy assert that this worked on a globe? No. My exemplary understanding of this as a subject matter expert means that I know unequivocally if you're going to suggest elevation angles work with the global systems. It works with subpoints. Right, Buck? Subpoints, right, Buck? Do you want to tell Jeremy what a fucking retard he is, Buck?
Yeah, run away. Cuck with Buck.
Stuttery! I'm asking Buck to demonstrate how idiotic Jeremy has stepped in to incorrectly assert that this works from the surface. No! I think you'll find it's described with subpoints. Jeremy obviously doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Jeremy is 100% correct.
Oh, really? So what's a subpoint?
That's your question. Okay.
We measure the elevation angle from the horizontal line of sight. That's one straight line. The second straight line is the line of sight to the celestial object. The angle between those two lines meeting at your eye, the vertex, is the elevation angle.
So the celestial object would be on the celestial sphere then, correct?
The vertical baseline.
My question in response to what he's just suggested. To the celestial object, so it would be on the celestial sphere then?
We could then subtract 90 from the zenith angle, and that would derive the elevation angle.
So from elevation angle to a point on the celestial sphere, third time.
Without using the surface.
Right, on the celestial sphere, third time's a charm. Is it from the celestial sphere that you're getting this item? Yes or no? The reason we're getting a silence, ladies and gentlemen, is because the minute he acknowledges that the item is with respect to the celestial sphere, that unequivocally means that the derived angle can only work on the extended celestial plane and equatorial plane inside a globe.
You can measure elevation angle to an aircraft, though.
Right, is it just me, or am I being obfuscated? Nobody's acknowledging how fucking wrong Jeremy the retard is. Jeremy, you stupid spastic. If we're measuring with respect to the equatorial sphere, then that only works from the equatorial plane inside, not on a globe, Jeremy. You are wrong. Meanwhile, in order to acquire the acquisition of the surface level angle, we need to measure the surface flat for it to be called an angle. Now, for their system to work, they would suggest that they measure ground positions out in space on planes, tangential to a ball, they assume. But that tangential plane will unequivocally require transposition inside a ball for it to work with the derived angle to the celestial sphere. That is how it works inside, not on a ball, on a plane. Now, nobody's actually in a ball to measure a plane for an angle, but we definitely measure angles from planes. That's what an elevation angle is. And when it's described as an elevation angle, that excludes it being inside a ball because it ties it to the surface level. Earth is measured flat for elevation angles.
No, it's not. It's not measured flat for elevation angles. The base can be curved.
Then it won't be an angle, you dumb raster. Angles are two straight lines. Okay, so when we've transposed this angle to the equatorial plane, will this bent angle work with the flat planar surface of the equatorial plane when it's a bent angle?
Can be curved.
So it'll work curved on the equatorial plane then, raster.
Circular triangles.
Right, I'm asking the raster. He's saying curve angles. Now I'm saying, okay, let's just accept this dickhead fucking retard raster with his curve angles. Okay, so we can transpose the curve onto the equatorial plane then.
There's no such thing as a curved angle. That's a first.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, no shit. You've just been telling us how curved we can get the angles from for the last 10 minutes. Yeah, I know you can't get an angle from a curve, you dumb raster. We can get elevation angles from the surface, and they are flat. That's why you have to lie about them. That's why we've got this, it's got nothing to do with the surface shite. When it's all to do with the surface, every single acquisition of any angle ever.
Nautical miles, for example, is because the Earth is spherical. It's a 1 minute drop per latitude.
Yeah, drop with respect to the plane. So 1 degree is a 1 degree drop of the item you are measuring with respect to a plane. That is to say, as it drops 1 degree, drop being a description that's planar, dropping towards the horizon, being a planar description, means you've got an angle from a plane that you can minus from 90 and times by 60 to give you the distance along a flat surface in linear nautical miles. The only curve is the curve of the protractor you're measuring this drop with. If it's dropping, that's the star dropping towards the horizon, and you're measuring an elevation angle, then you're measuring with respect to the horizon and the planar surface, forming the 0 degrees. The word drop itself is a planar-only word.
Liar. 1 minute drop is not planar. Nautical miles.
Yeah, it is. 1 degree drop. So it's dropped 1 degree towards the horizon. It's unequivocally planar.
Measure a line in minutes.
Yeah, minutes are the degrees of the protractor. When you separate out the degrees, you get minutes. That's what you're describing. If it's dropping, number one, to drop is a vertical description. Verticality is axiomatically tied at the hip to horizontality. So if something's dropping, you're using a planar word. That's what drop means. It's got sod all to do with curve when you describe dropping. It's a vertical description. Secondly, if you're describing that star dropping towards the horizon with a measured degree, then you've got a horizontal baseline, that's the surface, and the drop with respect to that surface in a measured angle giving you the degree. That's a flat earth only measurement.
That's the definition of it and usage of it in your model.
No, it's not. You think elevation angles are in my model? I've defined them 20 times. That's not Nathan Oakley's elevation angle, you dumb shit.
Model has a different definition than you.
On the contrary, on screen now for my audience is a depictorial example of angles to stars dropping with respect to the horizon. Here's the example. Here's a star a couple of degrees above the horizon. Here's a star at zenith. That's directly above your head. As you move away from the star, the angle with respect to the horizon drops. That's 2 straight lines meeting at a vertex for every single one of these angles measured with respect to a plane. That's what Raster's just described. The drop is it going from here to here. The drop is from here to here. This is it dropping. That's moving in the vertical to give you a degree. That's what the angle from the plane is. So this is a flat earth prerequisite angle acquisition as the star drops. The calculation is 1 degree drop is resulted in you backing away from the star 60 nautical miles. It's an extracted value based on a flat Earth prerequisite acquisition of an angle from the surface level. That's an altitude angle. The same altitude angle that had to be lied about by Buck Sodbuster, lied about by the Raster, lied about by McToon. That's what we're talking about. This is the example. This is an elevation angle demonstration. It's very basic. If it's dropping towards the horizon, it's dropping towards the surface level with a measured angle off the surface.
They're here for.
Can I ask a question?
Hey, go on, Nathan. Keep chat skanking. This is what
I'm not chat skanking. I'm taking my audience through a very detailed explanation of what the Raster's just explained. He described a degree drop. That's what he described. 1 degree for every 69 statute or 60 nautical miles. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, it means the star's there. Angle declination as you move away from the star. Well, on screen for my audience, here's a different example. Here's where Jeremy is demonstrating a fucking retard as he interrupts and says this works on a globe. No, here's the equatorial and extended celestial plane with the celestial sphere wrapped around it. The one that Buck confirmed we were measuring lights from. Yeah, we'd have to be inside this for us to be measuring it, to describe it globally. This is where Jeremy said it would be on the surface. Absolutely not. Jeremy's just wrong.
Better flat earther than you, Jeremy. He's calling
Just
you.
stop talking through him all the time. He's having a show right now.
So yeah, Alwyn's now telling them off because when I point out how wrong somebody challenged me earlier, Jeremy, the host. Yeah, I'll still call him a fucking retard when I've got diagrammatical examples of how wrong he is. This is not from the surface, Jeremy. My audience can see what a spacker you are when you said it came from the surface. No, we're bifurcating a ball with an extended celestial plane if we're measuring items on the celestial sphere, end quote, Buck. Yeah, this requires being inside a ball for elevation angles to function. When you said it worked from the surface, wrong! Just an idiot. What are you, some sort of ball sympathiser, Jeremy? Because you were wrong. Works from within a ball when you extract the elevation from surface to a system with a celestial sphere wrapped around 2 planes. Extended celestial and equatorial planes, you'd be in a ball to be measuring.
Jeremy's argument. He hasn't talked for like 5 minutes.
Since you finished, Nathan, I'll manufacture him to get in.
He's probably busy right now, Nathan. You gotta call him out at another time.
What, like when he was talking to me and he said, I was wrong. No, you just don't understand how you can get these angles from a globe surface. No, I heard what Jeremy said and he was demonstrably incorrect. When you extract a globe from flat Earth measurements, this is what you end up with. There are no angles coming from the surface of the ball in this diagrammatical example of the celestial sphere with extended celestial plane and equatorial plane inside a ball Jeremy was wrong about.
You don't actually care about what he's saying. I mean, he's saying that.
I heard what he said. He said on the ball. Yeah, you can get angles from the ball surface. I heard him.
He's laying down.
He was wrong. Jeremy was wrong. This diagrammatical example shows how wrong he is.
Nathan Oakley's model, and it's lacking.
This is not my model. This is a globe Earth extracted value. It's not mine. The minute it's demonstrating how flat equatorial planes and celestial planes must be, doesn't make it mine. It means your globe requires you be inside a ball.
Quiet, you asshat.
Little has Nathan Oakley known for the past 8 years. You don't just find other
Nathan's trying to talk.
Yes, I have other people trying to talk.
Actually responding to what you say, we just keep talking.
Nathan's trying to talk. Stop.
Can I ask Nathan a question?
I don't have to mute people, just so people can get in.
Yeah, it'll be quick, I'm pretty sure. So, Nathan, would you agree that north-south is perpendicular to east-west?
No, you're describing azimuth, which is degrees from one true direction. You've only got one true direction. North.
I'm not describing azimuth. I'm asking about north-south being perpendicular to east-west.
Yeah, and I just answered no. The degree is from north only. So those change as you move your position. So to say they're perpendicular would be to suggest that east and west are absolute directions. They're not. Second time I've answered you.
Okay, so if I'm standing at any point on the Earth, any coordinate, and I'm facing due north, right? How many degrees do I have to turn to face due east?
Sorry, you're accepting that this is a flat Earth by prerequisite because you're describing a horizontal direction from north.
That was not an answer to my question.
Sorry. So what you're saying is, if we can ignore how flat and horizontal these directions are, then you've got a question to ask. Okay. Are you saying that we're going to ignore how flat they are?
I'm asking you a question.
Yeah, I heard your question. My answer,
degrees?
Earth is
Okay.
flat for this directionality system. For us to describe what you are asking about requires Earth be flat, because it's a horizontal only description for azimuth, degrees in the horizontal from north. This only works on a flat Earth.
Okay, mine was a how many question. How many degrees do I have to turn to face due east?
What? How many degrees on a flat plane in a horizontal orientation do you have to turn in a horizontal orientation, correct?
How many degrees?
Yeah, I'm clarifying. So in a flat Earth orientation horizontal, how many degrees do I turn on a flat Earth when I turn from north? Is that correct?
I'll let you add whatever qualifiers you want.
It's not a qualifier. It's absolutely the definition of azimuth. It's not a qualifier. Do you want me to read it out? Azimuth is the horizontal angle of an object measured clockwise from true north around the horizontal. Key cardinal points include north at 0 degrees, east at 90 degrees, south at 180, and west at 270. So these are flat Earth directions by prerequisite that you're asking about. Third time I've put it to you.
Azimuth is an angular measurement of horizontal direction, usually expressed in degrees from a reference point, like true north, moving in a clockwise circle.
So this is a flat Earth directionality system then? There's nothing curved about it. It's only ever going to work on a flat plane then?
Sure.
So it only works on a flat plane?
Fine. How many degrees?
Fine! Welcome to flat Earth, you dimwit. If it's fine that it only works on a flat Earth, then this system only works on a flat Earth.
How many degrees?
So what does your question have relevance to? We've established the system only works on a flat Earth. That's the end of my time in this discussion. Given that this only works on a flat Earth, everything beyond this point is moot.
It's not moot.
Oh, really? So you're saying that this flat Earth system does work on a globe?
He's terrified to answer the most straightforward question I could have concocted.
No. What I did was took your question and pointed out how flat Earth must be for your question to exist. Yeah, I've got on screen for my audience a diagrammatical example of how flat the degrees are when you describe azimuthal directionality. You've confirmed, yes. So notwithstanding the flat Earth prerequisite for these directions, you've got a question to ask about them. Well, I don't care about your question, because Earth's got to be flat for the question to exist.
Okay,
that's the end of my time in the discussion.
You don't want to engage with me, that's fine.
Well, I have engaged with you. You've offered me a flat Earth directionality system, and I've pointed out how flat Earth must be for it.
Explaining things to you looks like punching someone who's taking shit.
Oh, so now we're up to threats of physical violence? No, we've just got a flat Earth measurement system. It's called azimuth. It's flat. It's horizontal. It's degrees from north, called azimuth. It's a system that only works on a flat Earth.
And in that system, how many degrees?
In this flat Earth system, that's the end of the discussion. If we're arguing about whether or not Earth's flat, and this system only works flat, then that's kind of the end of the discussion, my friend.
I'm not arguing whether the Earth is flat.
Oh, yeah, I am. Yeah, I understand that when you need to use a flat Earth directionality system, suddenly we're not arguing about whether or not Earth's flat. What, because you want to use this flat system to ask questions? No, once we've established how flat Earth must be for this system, that's the end of all questions. Earth's measured flat for this system.
So you know exactly what I was going to ask you.
Doesn't matter what you're asking. Once we've got a flat Earth only system established, that's the end of the discussion. Because we've got a flat Earth only system.
Flat Earth or globe Earth?
No, it can't work on a globe. It's a horizontal system. You don't understand the difference between global, that's curving, and horizontal degrees from north. Now, this can only work on a flat Earth.
No, because
Oh, we got the Rasta come to save you, brethren. He's going to be telling us how we got curve angles from triangles, from circles, brethren.
This circular triangles exist.
Yeah, man, we got circle triangles and thing. Yeah, man, Rastafari. We ain't got circles from triangles. You know what I'm saying?
Nathan, chill out.
Circles and triangles, alright?
Oh, he's spurging. All right. Let him.
No. We've got a flat Earth directionality system. You didn't concede it. Rasta piped up because he sensed the blood. So he started piping up about circular triangles or some of the dumb shit that he was talking about.
He won't let you talk. There's problems.
Sorry, was it just me, or was about 2.5 minutes ago Arwin telling off about 4 different people for spurging through the top of me? No, we've got a horizontal system that only works on a flat Earth. Horizontal degrees from north. The guy has conceded. Yeah, but we're not talking about flat Earth now. Oh, I see. So when you've used this flat Earth system that only works on a flat Earth, later we'll be talking about the surface after we've forgotten all about how flat Earth this system is. No, I stop at the point that the measurement system only works on a flat Earth and then go, I couldn't give a tiniest of shit about your question that relies on a flat Earth only measurement system.
I think you know exactly where I was headed with it. That's why you're running away from the question.
If you're facing north and you want to turn east, how many degrees you got to turn?
Sorry, in a flat Earth orientation, in a flat Earth direction, and we're turning horizontally with respect to a plane around a vertical point on a plane. So the point that we're turning around is axiomatically tied from vertical to horizontal. So we're turning around a point with respect to a plane then. Yeah, this is a flat Earth only description that you're asking me about. You understand that, right?
And when you have made that 60-degree turn and you have a 90-degree angle.
But who the fuck was talking to you, woman? Shut your mouth. Talking to this man. Nobody asked you. You'll know because we'll address you, woman. Shut up.
Oh, that's not nice.
I will do whatever I like here, and if some woman pipes up while I'm in the middle of humiliating a guy, he's talking about rotating around an axis in the vertical. That's what he's asking about. I've heard him. Now, that axis is perpendicular to a plane. Now, the definition of azimuth is horizontal degrees. So to have us rotate, to ask about the degrees of rotation, we are rotating around a vertical axis with respect to a plane. So this is a flat Earth only system.
Wait, Nathan, stop speaking over the lady.
I'll do whatever the fuck I like. If I want to tell this woman to shut her mouth because the men are talking, I will. Shut up, woman. I'm telling this man how flat his system of azimuth is that he's asking about.
Okay.
If you interrupt again, I'll tell you to shut up again.
The actual question about the angle.
Yeah, the degree by the angle. You mean the degree of azimuth in the by angle. You mean the degree of azimuth in the horizontal, correct?
Correct. How many?
Well, that's a degree in the horizontal then. So we're measuring a flat Earth in the horizontal to describe directionality. If I'm going to be going that way because I've measured a degree from north, then ipso facto we are travelling in a direction we've established with a horizontal planar system then.
And that direction is how many degrees from due north?
So you're going to ignore that we're measuring Earth flat for this and just keep asking your question?
Yes, I'm going to ignore it because it's nothing.
Yeah, I know you will. Yeah, you want to use flat Earth measurements like azimuth because you're not talking about Earth measurements when you use flat Earth measurements. Like when we travel north. Oh, that's got nothing to do with the ground. Until I say that north is the top of a ball. Then it'll be a circular ground, right? Or if I'm travelling south, nothing to do with the ground when I'm travelling in a horizontal degree 180 degrees from north. Yeah, that's got nothing to do with the ground until I arrive south. And then I'm at the bottom of a ball that the ground is suddenly. Because we've ignored the flat Earth azimuthal system that we've travelled in directions with, right up until the point that I'll assert sphericity. Then, it doesn't matter, we've whistled past our flat Earth must be measured for these degrees in the horizontal that only work on a flat Earth. Let's forget about them for now. No, I won't. Flat Earth measurements.
How many degrees, Nathan?
In the horizontal on a flat Earth?
Yes, in horizontal.
Yes! Did you hear him, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. So that's it. My job is done. There's nothing else to answer. This measurement system is a degree in the horizontal on a flat Earth. As a flat earther, my job here is done. You think I'm going to ask endless shitty questions about this? I couldn't give a shit, mate. We've established Earth's flat with this system. That's the end of my involvement. I couldn't care less beyond this. Who cares? It's a flat system. Horizontal degrees from north only works on a flat Earth.
No, it can't.
No, what? So it's now not going to work on a flat Earth according to you?
Verified. He's shitting himself.
Like, why am I shitting myself about what? Horizontal degrees from north? So if we describe horizontal planar systems for directions, that means I'm scared, on the contrary.
Why haven't you answered the question? It's been like 10 minutes.
Well, nautical miles. Nautical miles.
Answer the question.
Can answer it for you.
Nautical miles are not planar. Right.
Yeah, nautical miles are planar. On screen now for the audience is the description of the 90 that you require to perform this calculation with. So you measure an angle from a plane. That's the degree declination raster was talking about earlier. Like, it is dropping 1 degree for every 60 nautical miles. Yeah, that's a degree in the horizontal from a planar surface for it to be dropping a planar description. Once you've measured that angle, you then minus that angle from 90. What 90? This 90. The 90 along a planar surface to a point below the star, called a ground position. It's on the freaking ground. Once you've minused it from 90, you times it by 60. The 60 is the nautical mile linear distance. That's how it works. To get these are the radial values. These radial values are described in nautical miles. R1, R2, and R3 are all flat, linear distances. They can't bend, they're radii. Ergo, they are ipso facto straight lines in the horizontal to ground positions on a plane, acquired by measuring an angle from a plane, minusing it from 90 and timesing it by 60, to give you a flat, linear distance in nautical miles ascribed to a radii. Radii will not and cannot bend.
Nautical miles is
I can
because
prove you can get. I can prove you can get angles from curves.
nautical miles is because the ground is curved.
No, again, for the audience's benefit, the radial value is what is ascribed the nautical mile distance. Here it is on screen. R1, R2, and R3 are not bending. He's just an idiot.
Are not linear. Nautical miles are not linear.
They're absolutely linear. Distances in nautical miles are linear. They have to be, or they wouldn't be radii values. You can't call it a radii if it's non-linear. Do you not understand what a radii is? On screen for my audience. This is what you're trying to acquire by minusing from 90, that's this 90, and timesing by 60, that's nautical miles, the angle you measure from a plane. Now, if you say that this distance, R1 or R2, is non-linear, then it can't be described as a radius value, stupid raster. What are you babbling about? It has to be straight or it can't be called a radius.
You're stupid because you just learned that nautical miles has to do with the curvature of the Earth.
No, they don't. The nautical miles giving you a radius for an area of equal altitude. Radii don't bend, you stupid clown.
Nautical miles equal arc minutes. 1 nautical mile is 1 arc minute.
Yeah, an arc minute is measured from a surface level. Again, this stupid woman that's been told to keep her mouth shut's interrupting the raster. Did I not tell you already, woman? Shut up. Yeah, if you're measuring an arc, you're measuring the arc of the protractor. From a baseline, the degree is the drop of the angle. That's what you're getting in minutes or degrees. A measurement of an angle from surface level. That's what gives you the angle that you can minus from 90 and times by 60 to get you a radial value. Radial values being linear. They cannot bend.
First radial angle, Nathan, that is a 360 divided by 2 pi. That is what gives you your radian angle, your first angle away from center point. 57.29 together with pi, that makes up your first degree.
I couldn't give a crap. The angle is measured from surface level. It's an elevation or altitude angle measured from a flat plane.
The Earth is curved. Crystal is telling you the Earth is curved.
No, it isn't. The altitude angle's measured from surface level. Does Crystal understand how we acquire an altitude angle?
A linear measurement, Robert, in a straight line on your meridian.
1 arc minute, because of the meridian is a curve. 1 arc minute.
Why you can use that same thing on your arc is because in a radian angle, your radius and your arc length are equal. You got the 60-60 there.
Good.
60 arc minutes to 60 nautical miles.
Because it's an arc. The Earth is curved.
No, the arc is the arc of the protractor you measure the angle through. If you're measuring a star, you measure from the baseline to the start. Those are your two straight lines. One is the 0 degree of the baseline. The other is the angle to the star. If it declines, that's going down. It's declining in angular terminology towards the horizon from a flat baseline. That's the acquisition of the angle. The curve is the curve of the protractor, not the curve of the globe surface. The protractor's the curve. That's when you're describing being in a ball, not on the surface. You're not on the surface of the protractor you measure the degrees with. You'd be in it if you're describing it from the plane to give you these angles. These angles being what you use to find the radius by minusing from 90 and timesing by 60 the measured angle from a plane.
Then they would have used just
How many degrees are
miles.
those angles?
Then they would have used just miles, Nathan.
Yeah, they do. They use nautical miles, and you acquire them for the radial value by minusing the measured angle from 90 and timesing it by 60. That's how you acquire the nautical miles along the surface for the radius. It has to be linear or it won't be a radius.
Nautical miles because the ground is curved.
No, you can't have a non-linear radial value for a circle of equal altitude. It can't be curved or it won't be a radius. Keep saying it, you're just ignoring me.
1 arc minute between each.
Yeah, 1 arc minute. That's a measurement on the surface. 1 arc minute. That's an angle from the surface. That's what you're describing,
Roger,
you dumbass.
Robert, it is the angle in between your degrees, not on your degree. So it's measured that 57.29 is the measurement in between 1 and 2 degrees, between 0 and 1 degree.
Yeah, and 0 is the baseline as depicted on screen. On screen now, elevation angle. The angle is this degree from the surface. That's what we're measuring. If the sun moves towards the horizon, that's the declining angle that we're measuring, that you can measure in degrees or minutes. That's what you're describing from a planar surface. It's an altitude angle, meaning it comes from the surface. Elevation means from surface. Elevation angle means degree from the surface in the horizontal. That's what this angle on screen is.
The sun approaches the horizon because your ground is curved.
No, it doesn't. The angle that you measure is from the surface. If it was curved, oh my God, how many times do I have to go through the exact same thing? This is the example. It's an angle from a plane. You can't get an angle from a curve. There's no such thing as curve angles. If you're measuring, it's from a plane.
Yes, no. Your ruler triangles, circular triangles exist.
Oh my God, we've got this brethren talking about circular bloody triangles again. No, that's the stupidest thing ever.
He's just a retard, Nathan. He's doing it on purpose, and it's a good for the audience to hear what has happened to these globers now in this psychological dilemma with the things they're saying. They're in total retardation.
I agree. Let's shout out a couple of super chats. So, shout out to Unitox Femu, who says, when you navigate with boat, don't use water surface. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Also, shout out to Andy78807, who joined as a penguin. Thank you very much for joining as a member. However, I will say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. However, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So another massive thank you to all of you who liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, smashed the super chat, bought a copy of Measured Flat, link in the info box below this video, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley. Another massive thank you to, where I would say, Earth Awakenings, and to my G+ panel for making today's live show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
Millimeter, it be accurately measured. It's measured flat, direction up and down. Flat level we at, fly over ground. Descending from that breeze, heading in degrees. Horizontal, flat, ESC now you